Going live.
Great.
If it's private, you can put it in chat.
No, it's not private. I just want to. I saw that this usually lasts like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I can do 30 minutes. I didn't realize it was 2 hours, but it's dinner time with my family, so I want to
Oh, that's cool.
make sure I allocate it. Okay, great.
Awesome. It would be great to get your input, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you. Everything good?
Everything is fantastic, dude. I just finished my studio build back here this week.
Beautiful.
Man, thanks so much. I got to get a little bit more lights set up.
Jealous, man. I used to have the lighting, and
I'm
then I moved.
so excited. Look,
now I just have a living room.
It looks real fancy, but these are $5 LED strips from Walmart. Don't get confused. I am very cheap.
I mean, those are the best ones to get because they don't last very long. Like you can get like what 3 years out of them.
Probably.
They start dimming.
That's solid though, because I get a $5 Rumble rant and I'm solid, good to go. Well, $10 because they take 80. They take 20%.
We got Condor coming in hot here. The 4 P's of marketing are product, price, place, and promotion. Hi, Condor. We're gonna kind of start this a little fast though because we have Mick for about a half an hour, so I want to get some insights from him. One thing I wanted to go over. A lot of people don't know what marketing is, and a lot of them confuse it with sales. And anyone who runs a business or has a business degree or works in marketing will tell you that's not true. And often marketing and sales will like butt heads with each other. So being lazy, I have the Harvard definition because that's what I learned from. Marketing helps a firm in creating value by better understanding the needs of its customers and providing them with innovative products and services. And the value is communicated through a variety of channels as well as through the firm's branding strategy. So in short, it's really discovering who your customers are or picking who they are and figuring out how you can best provide value. And that is really important in the streaming world. And it's something that small streamers do not do. I did because when I went into streaming, I was coming out of an MBA program. So of course I did that. So I actually have a vision and mission and values and all of that. And I've converted it into a spiel on my Discord. Yeah, I mean, I know what my community is, Ryan, and you're in there. You see some of the stuff that happens and who sticks around. And there is a culture that is set, and that's incredibly important. So
yeah.
Can we let's get some introductions. Uncle Pudge, tell us who you are and why you're qualified to be here. Come on.
Oh my God. All right. So I'm probably the least qualified person on this panel. I don't have any degree of any kind. I barely passed high school. I paid for 3 years of college and only went to 1 year of classes. And I have had real world experience in the marketing world. Consulting with small and local businesses, building some of those businesses from $0 to $1 million in the first year. A local farmers market that I consulted on with some marketing for their social media, grew them from $20,000 a season to $250,000 in the first year. So I think that most of my qualification comes from the massive amounts of Gary Vee content that I consume and just a little bit of real world experience and being in the dirt, as it were.
Remember when LinkedIn used to be fun and it was like all Gary Vee stuff and other stuff, and now it's just boring and stale.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, tell us what you do.
What do I do? Am I qualified? Sure. No. I have been outside the streaming. I actually run my own digital marketing company called Made by Koi. I have personally been working in the internet realm, making websites and doing design for nearly 2 decades. Hold on, I gotta take this out. There we go. Sorry, I just lost my track. Oh yeah, so I've been doing it for nearly 2 decades. I eventually spun off after working for a bunch of employers, being big companies, small companies. Ended up doing my own thing. I was kind of forced into it through layoffs back when everybody was kind of going through a rough time. And so I've been running my own company with my wife for, I think we're at 4 or 5 years at this point, doing it independently. And it's just, on my end, I do a lot of the UX stuff, but I do have a lot of experience working with like the new media, the social media, that type of stuff. I'm not saying I necessarily practice it myself if anybody's ever been on my Twitter feed, but it is
right.
knowledge that I have.
Your 2
so-
cents is always valuable, though.
2 cents.
I
is
like
2
it.
cents more than no sense, right?
100%.
We discovered like he's like my brother from another mother, especially when we're both on Dudes in Chat. We realized that there's like this an alliance between me and Ryan, and then like Adam and Joe. It's so funny. I think
It
we're
always
the
does
geeks.
split up that way.
Yeah, we were like going crazy over like color psychology the other day. It was pretty funny.
Color
Right.
psychology is fascinating.
It's great. I really dove deep into that when I built my website for my my
Mhm.
previous business. But
Mhm.
Mick, tell us about you and what do you do?
Well, my name's Mick. Thanks so much, first of all, for having me here. I'm the CEO of Blue Light Media. We're a creative agency based in Irvine, California. We've been around since 2014. I don't know if it's like Uncle Pudge, but like Uncle Pudge, I'm a recovering Gary Vee addict.
That's right. That's
We
right.
work with e-commerce brands like Bulletproof, NutriBullet to help create all their content and distribute it on social media, both their organic and paid social management. And this year we're leaning more into our creative chops more than the performance aspect of it. On top of that, I also host a podcast. I'm the creative director at Echo Church in Anaheim, and I'm sure I do. Oh, I'm a dad. I'm really proud of that, and a husband. And this is my boy here who's on his first podcast ever. So I'm
Oh
really
my
excited.
gosh,
wow,
so exciting!
yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
His debut
The maiden
here.
voyage.
So right here on Rumble.
The
That's
media
awesome.
star. It's going to happen.
So what do
Yeah.
you mean about, like, you said that you were going from oh my gosh, I'm forgetting words already. Like performance to creative.
Sure.
Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So when we started Blue Light Media, like we were still convincing brands that they needed to be on Instagram to market their business. And, that was 9 years ago. And so now most of those brands have hired, teams in-house to at least manage their social and a lot of their paid social and paid media. So it's twofold for me, like, being judged on ROAS every single month is really stressful, and it's been a long time of doing it, and I don't want to put that on myself or my team for that matter. But we do enjoy the marketing aspect of it. We enjoy the creative aspect. So we're focusing more on what our creative chops are. So photography, video, graphic design, all of those things, as well as our campaign development, those types of things, as opposed to really just focusing on cost per acquisition, return on ad spend, like those types of things.
Mick, you said a really interesting, used a term there, ROAS. Can you kind of break that down for us? The whole, I think, idea here is a lot of streamers, especially the smaller ones, especially the ones here on Rumble, are not understanding some of the basics. Maybe it's the vernacular
Sure.
or some of the data that they need to be aware of. So if you could break that down for us, what is that ROAS?
100%. So ROAS is return on ad spend, and basically how many dollars am I making for every dollar I spend on like Facebook ads or Snap ads or anything like that. And so after the iOS 14 update, which happened, I believe, in like 2019 or maybe it was 2020 now, it became a lot harder. There's a lot of things, and there was an adjustment. We got through that adjustment, which was great. But what's interesting is that when we were measured up against what the return on ad spend was, even when we were hitting our goals, it was like, but is it really because of the ads, or is it because of this? I'm like, there's always like a moving goalpost, right? And
Yep.
So I didn't want to subject my team to that anymore. While it's fun and it's something we're still going to offer, we just really want to lean into the creative, because again, most brands have taken their teams in-house, but the need is really for the content. So I went a little bit off topic, but return on ad spend. So for every dollar spent on ads, how much am I getting back in return or profit?
Gotcha.
So as a smaller content creator, I'm finding for me it's more about networking, and a lot of people don't understand what networking is. And with Elon Musk buying Twitter,
You mean X?
you followed me, so you might end up seeing some of the shenanigans that we have with the Rumble group. But a
Yep.
lot of our relationships and collaborations didn't happen in the Rumble Discord. They happened on Twitter when we started, like, just everyone just started like plunging into the same conversation, and it's really hilarious. Some of the stuff that we get into on Twitter, for the smaller creator who doesn't have like money for ad spending or anything like that, and someone who's still like honing their craft and developing their brand and their skills as a streamer, because we've got a lot of new streamers. What are your recommendations, your tips for using social media like Twitter and even alternatives like Gab or Truth Social?
I think that, like you said, I think connecting with people is going to be the biggest hack, right? But doing it in a really personalized way. I think that's how like Uncle Pudge and I got connected in the first place. We had a common interest at the time was Gary Vee. Maybe I think it's been like 6 years or something, man. That we've
Yeah,
been
dude, it's
now.
been a minute.
Yeah, and we were just like kind of invested in what each other's story was, which was kind of cool. And so just replying back, like paying attention to the conversation, being really consistent about that sort of thing, and not using it so much as like a tool where you're just like shouting all the time, but more so contributing to a conversation.
What do you think about the presence of like controversy in tweets, because, or any other social media thing? Because people are pretty open right now about what they believe in different things. Do you think there should be more of an authenticity to find people like you, or how do you think they should approach that? Be less what is a good approach?
First of all, I love this question, first of all, because I think that it's layered. So on one end, I think that you need to be your authentic self, period. What's when you're trying to build an audience and when you're trying to truly like maybe build a brand for yourself, if you're playing in the middle, it's never going to happen. You have to really lean into what your beliefs are, right? And so you're going to start siphoning people from different like conversations because of your position on things, I think. But at the same time, like just as a human and like in the grand scheme of life, which is things that I think about now too, is like you also don't want to live in an echo chamber. It's like, it's cool, it's like really nice to get, you know, validation from people who believe in you all the time or believe in the same things that you do. But if you really want to make an impact, you know, you're going to have to start having those conversations outside of your little community. But controversial or not, you know, I think you always have to be respectful regardless of what, I mean, not I think, you should be respectful of whatever position you take, you know what I mean? But I don't think that being respectful means you have to waver from your convictions.
Yeah, I agree.
I've actually been streaming for 5 years and I started on Twitch, and there was definitely a run-in culturally. Someone came after me, and what I love about Rumble is I can just be myself. And there, you look at the squad I run with, and there is no groupthink. Like, we all have different beliefs, and no one's threatened by anyone else. And I think it's really a good demonstration that you can, like, that's what I want to show people. Like, back in the old days when I was growing up, you could be friends with people who didn't necessarily hold your beliefs. And
imagine that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow, acting like adults.
Yeah.
But what do you after that situation on Twitch, I found myself kind of questioning myself. And I actually asked the question on stream one time. I was like, you know, maybe I should just change how I talk about things. And I got yelled at by my mod and some other people. They're like, no, you're not allowed to change. You're going to stay how you are.
That's the wrong way. Yeah.
The reality is you have the most diverse community on Twitch. And I was like, that's kind of funny. And it's actually true. I mean, it's almost like I handpicked people to meet like some stupid metric, like, hey, we need diversity. But it's like that just because I take people who are just themselves and they're authentic.
That's what happens when you don't take and try to force diversity for the sake of diversity.
Yeah. And I have a happy community. Like, people see us playing Siege or something else and they're like, wow, you guys are just like fun. I like your group. Can I play with you? And that's probably the biggest compliment I've gotten as a streamer is, wow, your community is just so cool. And it's like, yeah, it is. And I'm the leader of that community. And so I'm very proud of it.
For sure.
What's I know we don't have you for too long, so I'm like, it's like the Mick half hour here.
Yes.
Feel free to chime in, everyone else, but what do you think with that said, we kind of came in hot with some of these ideas, and they're big ideas. You're a new streamer. You've got like, I don't know, 1 or 2 Mercy viewers throwing you a bone.
Wow.
You're still trying to like figure out like this streaming thing. You're just here because Rumble seems like a cool thing. What do you think they should start with for developing their identity and who they are as a streamer?
I don't know if you're asking me specifically or the group, but I'm the least qualified to answer this question. This is like, other than like Facebook Live 6 or 7 years ago, this is probably the first stream I've done. I actually don't.
Oh my gosh. We'll have to have you back.
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily your lane, Mick, but I think the idea of branding is what this is surrounding.
Identity.
And yeah. And the mistake I think most people make, at least in my professional experience, is when you say the word branding, people think logo and color palette.
Yeah.
And that's not at all what it is. It's
part
identity.
of it, kind of.
I agree.
It's not like who you are.
It's probably the most superficial part of branding, in my opinion, is the logo and your color palette. What really matters is going deep into those relationships, like Mick was talking about, where you're a real person, and just like, you can't interact with thousands of people every single day as a small streamer, especially because you don't have time for that. But if you're in the bathroom, take 3 minutes and reply to a few comments. They don't have to be your comments, but they can, if there's some comments of somebody that you're interested in developing a relationship with, then it's very high value for you to go into their Twitter feed or their comment thread or their live chat and start having conversations with other people in the chat. And not trying to take over the chat.
Don't make it about you.
Exactly.
Yeah, people do that so much.
And one of the things that you taught me at the very beginning, Diver, was, don't go in and like just talk about your stream. It's because when I was brand new 2.5 or 3 months ago, I didn't understand the dynamics of what etiquette was inside this world. And so I've had to learn that by engaging with you guys. And so you learn the culture. And now, look where I am now. Look where I am. But, that is so valuable to the author of whatever it is that you're getting engaged with, especially if you're doing that genuinely. Geek talks all the time about how connected me and you and Matt and Ryan are. All about that, but it's just genuine interaction.
He really?
Well, yeah, he's always like, "Oh man, you're so connected. You're so connected."
Aww.
And it's because we have these genuine relationships with people, and people forget that when there's a screen in front of them. They, for some reason, forget how to be a person when it's in a comment section.
Well, I think when you look at those of us who are connecting and moving forward with each other on Rumble and liking each other, all of us are very open.
Yeah.
We have no problem sharing our thoughts.
Transparency. How weird.
It's entertaining, Ryan. Wait till Saturday
definitely got
night
myself in trouble before.
Yeah, just
I managed to get myself
kicked
off before, so I don't know.
And it's respectfully open though. Like, I'm going to share my idea. I'm not going to argue with you.
Right.
And there are people who just like will come in and rail against me on absolutely everything, and I'll eventually, after a couple of rounds, I'm like, I'm out. Like, no,
100%.
This is not worth my time because I'm actually talking about something I believe in. So yeah, learning how to actually communicate with others and be respectful and have the security to not have to always be right, even when you're proven wrong. Like, let it go.
For sure. That's the thing right there. You got to learn how to drop it, because especially if somebody's shitting on you. Oh, sorry, I didn't baby ears.
Baby.
Sorry, if somebody's doo-dooing on you in the stream, then that's, you got to first approach that with empathy and think, well, why are they mad about what it is that I'm saying or doing? and that's
And
gonna
sometimes
come
it's
from
not
fear.
about you.
It's never about you.
I had
That's the thing.
2 different streamers come after me since I came to Rumble, and it was really clout chasing. They were trying to create drama to
Mhm.
get views, and I
Mhm.
refused to say their name. And I was talking with other people who were involved. I'm like, we're not gonna mention their name. They don't deserve it. Whereas anyone who comes to me out of friendship, I have no problem promoting my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it together. Let's have fun.
So, Mick, how much more time you got? I don't want to get too deep
I'm-
into anything.
It's all good. You guys do
Okay.
what you do. I'm like, I have questions for you guys. So
Ask.
Yeah,
so,
shoot, man.
and I'm sorry if any of this sounds ignorant, but do you all play on like the same game, or is it just streaming and you're having conversations like this? Like, what is this world that I'm in? I've never been here before.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, Di, do you wanna jump into it? You're way more experienced in this than I.
I've been a Destiny 2 streamer for like 4.5 years, and then that's been really rocky lately. But when I came to Rumble, I was playing more Rainbow Six Siege, so I do that. I did a lot of solo stuff. I still play Destiny solo for the most part because I'm trying to do more like playthrough stuff where I'm teaching as I'm doing it because I've got way too many hours in the game. With Siege, I'm not the teacher. I'm just there to have fun, and I use that to bring community together. So we stream Siege on Friday nights at 9 and then Sundays at 4. And I look at the Sundays as kind of like the Sunday dinner that the family should be having. So there's always a group that expects to play. Like everyone knows what 2 times we play each week, and they show up when they can. And it's just, it's people from my community who just want to, I mean, they need a place to go. It is more like a family. So we joke around about everything, and
I love that.
we like to win, but I brag about doing casual Siege and and I used to do casual COD. They're like, what, casual COD? What? Yeah, because you can't just chill and have fun in a video game and do okay. It's all about attitude. So it's for me, it's more about spending time with people.
I'm really excited to say that I do know what Destiny 2 is, at least. I have a friend.
I'm sorry.
Oh! By extension.
I know. I have a friend who streams that in COD. I do remember that from when I used to play
back in the day.
Call of Duty, right? I feel like
that's right. That's right. No, you're good. No, like Di, talk about that, about scheduling and how much that makes a real difference, because I think that plays into the marketing branding side of things. Consistency matters. And so how have you seen that really play out over your experience streaming?
I mean, I'm used to figuring out my market. In my early streaming days, I was also driving for Lyft. And so I figured out like the safe markets to drive in and where I was going to get the most money. And I just did a bunch of testing to find out who needed what where. And of course, I figured out where all the business people were who needed airport trips, and I did pretty well. But with streaming, it's tough. A lot of people like to focus on games, thinking that your game is going to make you popular. That's usually not the case.
99% of the time, it's not.
I've looked at so much data for Twitch. Like, come on. For streaming, it's more accessibility. So I'm on a temporary schedule change. So I work 11:30 to 8 now, which is why the stream is so late. And the exciting part is I get to go back to morning streaming, which when I was streaming full time on Twitch, morning streams were the way to go. I had my work crowd. They expected me to be there as part of their day. And yeah, it was really awesome. And when I started doing it here on Rumble, same thing. I got my work crowd back, and they liked hanging out here and listening while they were doing their work. And the cool thing is on Twitch, we have all the clips. So like chat would be super quiet while I was playing, and then something absolutely absurd would happen, or I'd say something silly, and then chat would suddenly go nuts and people would clip it, and it's just so funny. I love the work crowd. But now I actually took a little bit of a hiatus starting 3 weeks ago, so I'm kind of going through a little bit of a life change, as you will, and just rebalancing things. And now I'm looking at my mornings, so I'm starting to bring it back in. I did a morning stream once, and everyone showed up this week. But I'm
Nice.
looking at maybe doing 2 morning streams. But there are other parts of my life that I want to be more center than gaming, and so I'm working on trying to fit everything in right now. So, but yeah,
I totally
know
feel
when
that.
people are the people who want to watch you know when they can watch you, and that's when you need to stream.
Absolutely. I totally feel that. I basically disappeared from the internet for 2 years, and I just had a lot of stuff that I needed to get straight. We had a lot of stuff going on, moving and selling houses and doing all that, and family stuff, and graduating children, college, and all that jazz. It's crazy. But life happens, and the crazy thing is, you can come back, and the real ones are still there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're real, then the real ones are still there.
I put out a big 12 tweet explanation of what I was doing before I disappeared, and I also posted on Locals, and I knew I needed to do that because if you're not where you belong, the people who care most about you are going to be DMing you. Where are you? When are you going to stream? Is everything okay? And I just put it out there. I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm feeling. Everything is actually fine. This is a good thing. Please don't DM me. And if people are talking crap about me, I don't care. Like, let me have some peace because I need this. And it was cool because like Condor said something on Locals. He was like, thanks for letting us know, because it's, he said something to the effect that it's worrisome when suddenly a streamer stops streaming. And then I've been incredibly active in the Rumble community. So for me
That's right.
I didn't go completely dark, but the first week I was pretty gone.
Yeah. You were gone there for a little bit and peeking out every now and then. So, I want to jump in the chat here, and this is an interesting thing. Condor said, I wonder if they're going to cover word of mouth marketing. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this before we go, or before you go, Mick. But let's break down what word of mouth means.
Mm-hmm. Is this in the context of like streaming in your platform, or just in general?
I think in general is the idea here.
Because once you know what it is, you can apply it to streaming because you have an understanding of what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. So word of mouth is essentially being able to create enough of an impact where somebody who's tried your product or service is going to tell their friend about it. And that's always going to be the most powerful way to get new customers, because look, like you can see an influencer post something about, a product that you might like, or a service you might like, or a commercial or something like that. But 9 times out of 10, you're trying new products because your friend or your family member told you to try it, right? So it's really important. Like word of mouth marketing starts with just creating a really good product or service.
100%, and then you market that to the 15 people closest to you, and then if you have a good product or service is not necessarily cheese gum or suit cleaning, but your product,
we're all entertainers.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing here in the context of streaming. You're an entertainer, you're a counselor, you're a counterpart, you're an accountability partner, you're their saving grace sometimes in those days where they just need some kind of positivity, and you're the only positivity that they ever find. So, if you think about yourself in the context of a product or service, then it's easier to apply, I think, these methods.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you on that. And kind of just to piggyback off of what you're saying and what we were talking about earlier, when you really do think about, when you start with empathy and thinking about like, how can you add value to the listener, or how can you add value to the viewer, or something like this, most likely they will tell somebody about it when you hit that. But if you're going to rely on word of mouth, which I would imagine that's a lot of how people gain followings on streaming platforms.
Uh-oh,
And that
Mick,
you
froze.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Oh, there we
you're
go.
back.
You froze for a sec.
All good. The internet in my place sucks actually, but a good way to hack like word of mouth, and a good way to just build your brand is to think of one person that you're talking to every single time.
That's right.
Like in consumer packaged goods and what I do, we call it like a customer avatar or a customer persona.
Mhm.
In this case, it could just be like a viewer, right? What does my viewer think about? Think about a couple things. Who are some of the other streamers that viewer watches? What are the things that he cares about? What are the games that he plays? Things like that. What are some of the challenges that he has? And continuing to create streams and create conversations around those things will help you build your audience, because there are multiple people who have those same interests, those same problems, things like this. And then eventually that person who's viewing you will tell their friend, because their friend probably has a lot of the same interests that they do, that they should check out that stream similar to this.
That's absolutely right. And it just goes back to making genuine connections. And you don't have to do that with a lot of people. You know, when I first jumped on Rumble here in, I guess, February or so, I just jumped into 2 or 3 different streamers, and I kind of did that consistently. And they were like, "Hey, you should do it, and we'll come support you." And you needed so many followers to be able to live stream, and they got into the community of Rumble on Discord and on Twitter, and they got me 15, and I was able to not only live stream but also get my custom URL in the first day. And then in the first 2 months or so, and I tweeted about this recently, I've made over $200, now over $300. I've developed at least 3 to 5 skills, and I've made like 19 friends. It's
The
That's
last
a lot
part,
of
the best
friends.
100%.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
Streaming
right.
is boring without friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like look at what's happened with like people coming on the platform who know me from Twitch. All I do is put out a tweet like, "Hey everyone, can we get some follows? This is like a longtime friend. They want to stream on Rumble for the first time. They need followers." And then next thing I know, everyone's retweeting, everyone's going there and following. Like the support is insane. I can put out a bat signal and it's effective. And then like when Mayhem went live, his very first stream, Rick saw it and he had him featured.
There it is, right there. 40. He tweeted a screenshot. It was like 45, 60,000 views.
It was awesome.
Wow.
It was
Mayhem
crazy.
was just like he was on cloud 9. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Macy Lou Plays. Do you know her, Dibear?
I've heard of her. I've seen her in the
Discord.
Discord, yeah.
Yeah, so she's from across the pond, and I picked up her stream the first day that she started, and was helping her out with her banner and all of her dimensions and everything, telling her how to set everything up to optimize her stream. Right, that day she gets raided at the Rumble raid where Flawed went to Florida.
Oh, wow.
And they dropped like $3,000 on her.
Holy wow.
Wow.
So
that's insane.
it's so crazy, right? Like it can happen in a day. Day one. I just want to point out, if Rick's watching this, nobody's rated my stream yet. But
I love Rick.
They have
great
commitment
guy.
supported. I love Rick to death. He's super supportive. He let me design 2 of those category thumbnails that are in the gaming category. So that's
Rick,
super
I
cool.
think, is one of their best. He's one of their best ambassadors, honestly, because he's the guy getting out there and like making everyone feel valued, and it's just incredible. It really
He's
is.
branding.
He is, but
He's branding.
someone
for
has
Rumble.
to do it.
That's right. And he's just being himself. He's just a genuinely
I know.
awesome
Isn't he
dude.
great?
Yeah. But isn't it crazy?
He's just so
And
happy. That's what I love about him.
Mick, you can probably speak to this. And I mean, all of you probably can speak to this, that in the corporate world, that gets so stifled. And there's such negative energy around, you can't just like talk to people on the internet. We're a company. We're a brand. We can't be real people and succeed.
Yeah. I mean, Perhaps in other organizations, but in ours, that's definitely not the case.
That's right.
But we do have that, with clients that we work with. It takes 3 weeks to approve a tweet. You know what I mean? And it's kind of crazy what happens on the corporate level there. But at least for us, we really believe in just like being ourselves. It's the only thing it's so obvious. It sounds so silly, but it's the only thing that's really sustainable. And I think
Yeah.
A lot of companies are so sterile
yeah.
in their social media presence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. And then every time they try to do something like out of the box, it's so like forced, and sometimes it's cringy. Sometimes it's really good, but most of the time.
Sometimes,
I would say that
usually it's
cringy.
pretty cringy, and it's
Yeah.
just so off brand.
Yeah.
It'd be like me coming in here, I don't know, and doing push-ups on my stream. Like, that's not my vibe. I'm here trying to sell eBay products and do the flip life while playing some video games and make a little money on the side.
I love that. Hey, my friends, I do have to jump off. I really
Awesome.
appreciate you being here. So when I tell like my 1 or 2 streamer friends what just happened, do I say that I was on Rumble and
Yes.
then I get some sort of street cred? Is that cool?
100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you guys had me on, especially again since I was the least qualified to be here.
I'm thrilled that you were like, "Hey, I don't know this girl. I'm going to go on her podcast." Like,
Yeah,
why not?
dude.
It's fun.
That was so cool that you jumped in, man. I was really hoping that you would get in here.
Yeah, and again, my bad for not scheduling properly because it happened quick. That was just yesterday, or was that today?
It was like
I don't
2 days
remember.
ago.
2 days
the
ago,
original
yeah.
tweet. Yeah.
The days are blending together, but
That's right.
It
Case
was
in
really
point.
nice to meet y'all, and I'm excited to learn more about this. This was a lot of fun. So thank you, Ryan,
Awesome.
Uncle Pudge. It's great to see you again, and
Absolutely.
and D-Bear, it's great to meet you as well.
Thank you.
Go
Have a
make
good
a Rumble
night.
account.
I think I'm going to make a Rumble account tonight, and I'm gonna tweet at you guys.
Heck
Maybe you can be my first 3 followers or something.
Let's
That'd
go.
be great.
We'll do
Let's
it.
go.
Be
We'll
there.
get it
We'll get you
broadcasted.
10 by the
Yep.
end of the night.
We have
Amazing.
power.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening.
Later, Mick.
Good night, Meg.
Hey,
Bye.
All righty.
That was great.
Chat. Condor says, "How does one self-promote with alt media?" We already covered that one. Do building personal connections scale to build a sales funnel? Yes.
Yes.
That's just a simple
100%.
yes. Sales is all about building connections. Glitch
Yeah.
says, "Oh shit, that's a baby."
That's great. That's great.
Condor, it's hard to be authentic if you're doing brand deals. Yes. Yeah, streaming is not the place to be sterile and corporate. You need to have a personality. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about that more in a minute.
And I think that it's
So guys, I don't know if
actually-
I agree with that, but
it's easy to be authentic with brand deals if you get brands that authentically will sponsor you. If they see you being a real person and then like, yo, this is a dope dude, I would very much like him to drink my soda.
But by the time you
On
get to
his
that
stream.
point, though, you're going to be a bigger streamer.
I don't know.
You will be. Yeah. Because everything people are getting now, they think that they're like sponsored, but they're not. It's just an affiliate marketing.
Oh, that's
thing.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
So you're
people
not
are
actually
confused about the
sponsored.
language.
Yeah. Mick has some creature attached to it. Should get that. Mayhem says this is a squad of mines. Mick has a funny looking Siamese twin. It's a hairy, cute little tumor. What?
That was
Secret to
great.
branding is getting the iron really hot. Yes.
That's right. That's
Hurts
right.
you.
And don't be a bitch and scream.
Speaking of branding, I keep seeing Carlos from The Hangover. It's Clark Kent. You wrong. I'm actually learning stuff. I know nothing about stream marketing.
Well, and Clark Kent's jumping in here on the Rumble chat, and he said, "I'm new to streaming, never thought about branding, more just playing." And then he said, "Do any of you have a target market or target audience, or do you just put you out there and see who connects?" I think the answer to that is yes. I
100%.
think that I don't think the mindset really matters. If you're thinking about, oh, I need to be on brand, then you're going to essentially and eventually be off brand of who you are. But if you're just who
Well, you're
you
the
are,
product.
yeah,
So you need to figure out, you need to know who you are and how people see you
Mhm.
and what you believe in, because those are probably the thing. Hopefully those are the things that you share on your stream. Otherwise one day you're going to find yourself hating streaming because you have to be something you're not. So
That's
once
right.
you know what that is, and a lot of people don't, like, you need to actually sit and think about it. Then you can ask yourself, who is looking for someone like me? Who actually enjoys the things that I talk about? Who likes the games that I play, like the style of games? You don't want to get caught in one game. That sucks.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. And you got to figure that out early.
you need to
And
go
it's okay
find
to
where those
pivot.
people are. Yeah. Yep. And you need to be okay with people not liking you.
100%, because truth is most people won't like you.
Yep.
But the benefit is, and this may sound counterintuitive, nobody actually cares about you.
It's true.
They got their own shit. They got all of the stuff that they're going through, and 6 seconds after they walk past you and look at you in your stupid hat, they're gonna completely forget they even saw you.
Do any of you have a target
Right.
audience, or do you just put you out there and see who connects? Go ahead, Ryan.
I can do both of those.
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say I could say something controversial, but we'll go back to that.
I mean, that's fine.
I love it.
It's not I mean, go for it. Okay.
That's the after party.
I think I'm kind of on the opposite side when it comes to the branding, though, because I'm not approaching my brand right now, which I'm kind of rethinking. I don't have a brand. I should reword that. I don't exactly have a brand. I came on here just with the notion of just being myself. That's what I'm selling, just myself. And I'm not going to be the guy that, this is no slight against anybody I ever say, but I'm just saying I'm not going to be the guy that's like dancing on chairs or getting up on the floor and dancing in the background and being like that type of energy, right? Because if I did that, then it would be fake. Like that's not me.
I
That's
can't
right.
do that.
And
That's
so
right.
my approach is just, I'm just myself, and it's a slow growth. Like I could do all the other stuff that some of these other people do, and I could probably attract more people.
Mhm.
But then I'm going to be lying to myself every time I get on stream. And I think a lot of people can see right through that.
They can.
So I just straight up approach it as I'm just going on there. I'm playing video games. I happen to be on a camera, and you guys either like me or you don't. We'll have a chat. And I just believe in the organic growth. As far as this type of stuff goes,
Yeah.
if you want to talk more like business growth and marketing, it's different. But as far as just like a streamer goes, it's all just about being yourself, I think.
So, and this particular show is from the perspective of people who want to grow. So I'm totally in the authenticity part of it, though. You don't want to not be yourself. You don't want to hide who you are. You really don't.
That's right. And you have to figure out what it is that you want. If you're just on here streaming, you got 13, 14 followers, we're not talking to you if you don't want to be a big streamer.
If you do want to grow, though, and not even be big streamer, but be like someone who has 500 to 1,000 followers and 30 viewers, then yeah, this is going to help you.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. And you have to to build any kind of sales organization, you have to understand how marketing works and how it's mostly psychology and how branding works, and that it's almost all emotion. It's how people feel about you. Condor shared a neat little article in the chat that was for talking about branding. It was a little blog and branding and everything. And there's a quote in there from Jeff Bezos that says, "Your brand is what people talk about, or how people talk about you when you're not in the room." So it's what Geek says about me on Twitter in a tweet comment thread or something like that, or it's what you're talking about with Llama about Ryan. It's that persona that you're creating, and that's your brand.
I saw some nice things about me when I was gone.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like, oh my god,
we missed you the moment you were gone.
Aw.
There was a vacancy on Discord and in my Twitter feed, so you noticed.
Yeah, there was a significant decrease in the amount of Discord notifications
I was very active today. I
Yeah.
really do. Edible says, "How the hell is everyone doing?"
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh man, there was another thing that I was thinking of that right. Kind of the identity thing. I wanted to share something with you guys. It's in my Discord. Hold on a sec. I actually put it in my community description because it was funny. A friend of mine started looking some of us up on Chat GPT and asking Chat GPT, who is Diebear? And it was strangely accurate.
That's a little scary.
If
You
you
had a
know me and my
profile?
community, I guess so. It was really weird. Here it is. Share. All right. I have a paw book. That's my handbook. Because Diebear. ChatGPT said Diebear, a renowned streamer and influencer, is known for her dynamic and engaging content. She consistently offers great advice and loving support to her followers, earning her a dedicated and loyal community. Her charismatic personality and warm heart make her a favorite among viewers, and she continues to inspire and uplift those around her through her content. Diebear is more than just a streamer. She is a source of positivity and encouragement, bringing joy to all of those who follow her. And I was like, okay, that was a little kind on Chat GPT.
That was so nice.
Part, but it's like overall, that's pretty much what my community has been about for 5 years. And if I went back on Twitch tomorrow, I would end up having people showing up and telling me like how things have been going or whatever. Like it was always the place they could check in.
Yeah.
So, I actually do have. Let me check my Twitch page really quick. Diebear chat. I hate how they redid Twitch.
Was that Chat GPT? Was that a prompt? Like that?
Yeah,
Was
they
it a
just
prompt
said
that was given?
Who is Diebear?
That's cool.
Oh, he asked. Isn't that crazy?
That
I would
is
ask who
kinda
I am,
crazy.
but they would give me like this entire like history that's like
All right,
not involved with anything.
I have a vision, mission, and values on my Twitch page. This is old. So I took that and I updated everything in Discord here to address a lot of the issues that have come into my community and ultimately state like, look, this is how it is. So I wrote, this diverse community came together around video games such as Destiny 2, Overwatch, and Diablo. We are of different colors, political persuasions, sexualities, religions, nationalities, but we all have one thing in common. We believe in the free and fair exchange of ideas so we can learn from one another and support each other in becoming the best versions of ourselves. And it's up to the individual to learn what that version will become. Also, the server is run by a Catholic for those folks who are trying to convert us to something that doesn't quite work. And that's very important. I started bringing my religious identity into it recently because I was tired of people trying to manipulate me. And that is a problem in streaming, especially on other platforms. And it was like, look, this is what I believe. And I'm just going to lay it on the line. And it's kind of scary when you share your religious affiliation because a lot of people are put off by that. But I got sick of the shit, guys. It's like, no more. This is how it is.
It comes back down to the authenticity thing, if that's what
exactly.
you want.
And
It's
that's
almost like everything goes back to authenticity.
I'm going to be real though. Like you could say it takes courage, but honestly, the best thing I ever did was say, look, this is who I am. And you gotta deal with it. So on Twitch, when I first started streaming, this is what I came up with. The vision is what you ultimately want. What you ultimately want to come of what you're doing. And I have to bring people to the realization that they are loved and have values in this world. And I think we do a pretty good job of that in my community. The mission, I help people develop a greater understanding of who they are, their value in this world, and how they can fulfill their purpose. I was a career and life coach when I started streaming, and that was what I did. And at the same time, I've seen a lot of people come through over the years who have really developed, they've opened up as people, they've become more comfortable with who they are, And I think that still holds true because that, again, I want that to continue being the environment. And then the values, and these are the things that we hold to. Authenticity, that's my number one. Using honesty, integrity, and commitment to improve, evolve, and succeed. Innovation, learning about, developing, testing, and implementing current concepts and new ideas. And it would not be me if I didn't do that because I love doing that stuff. Respect, acknowledging one's value and helping with regaining dignity, and support, helping others to do and be better. And that actually came from my business. It's a that was a crossover from my former business, and it's all stuff that I actually really believe in, and the attitude that I take forward with my interactions with other people. So that's on Twitch. I should probably move that over to Rumble.
Yeah.
But there you
You
go.
need to put that in
That's
your
the
Guilded
foundation.
server too.
And I think it is. And the thing is, guys, when you come up with the vision, mission, and values, that's what you adhere to. Like, what is your mission? Because, and I bring this up a lot in the Discord for Rumble. People are like, oh, well, Chris should buy this and implement this. And I'm like, no, that is outside of his mission. And when a business steps outside of that mission, they start taking on projects that become like just money sucks, that do nothing to progress what that business is actually supposed to be working on.
Right.
And ultimately a business starts to fail when they do that. So if you want success, even if it's your personal life, it's actually really good to be introspective and sit down and think about those things we just went over. Think about that just for yourself in your own life. And that should translate into streaming.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta do the work.
I think that the question that Edible has about how does a real jerk network effectively? In all seriousness, I think there's a market for them. I think there's a market for everybody.
I'm friends with
And
a
if
real
you want to
jerk.
be a jerk. But I mean, the people that you'll attract are probably going to be jerks. But
Edible's a
there's
great
like
guy.
restaurants in like New York and everything
That's right.
that literally thrive off being assholes to their client, to
That's
their customers.
absolutely
Yes,
right.
I've heard
What's the
about
name
that.
of that restaurant that puts a hat on you and they get to write whatever they want on your paper hat? I heard stories
I'm not sure about that.
It's
I
so
heard about
funny.
one that provided you with crappy service.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that was their.
that's-
There's
yeah.
ones that'll cuss
That's
you
their
out. They'll
shtick.
throw your food at you.
People
Like,
are weird.
but
Hey,
Yeah.
Spars.
people eat it up.
They absolutely do. Some people are gluttons for punishment, and the question goes deeper. If somebody's an asshole and that's their audience, then if they apply this same template of content production and being genuinely who they are, if that's an asshole, then they'll attract a market. I think that that's an unsustainable model, in my opinion, based on research data and history. But I think the real answer should be stop being an asshole.
I think this
I
brings
think
us.
it could be.
No, go ahead. I was going to change topic.
I was just gonna say, I think it could be a persona, right? Like I think there's a line where you could be a jerk in a fun way where the audience is in with you on it, and you're not being an actual asshole, and you're not like being really terrible or offensive to people in a mean kind of way.
Sure.
I think people
You have to
can
be
kind of
clever,
be in
though.
on the joke with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I'd also think that
It's
would
a
get really
character.
mentally exhausting after a while. I feel like that would be the downside to having a jerk personality.
I don't think that having personas is sustainable in your real life. Just look at a lot of the actors that have been in Hollywood for a really long time. They're kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's an interesting environment, though.
No, that's absolutely right. We won't take that out of the equation at all. But if you
Hopefully, none of us are enduring what's happening in Hollywood.
I really hope not. My children are safe.
Wow, that's good. I think one thing I want to touch on with we talked about networking from more of the business standpoint. We talked about making friends, and I've seen things where people lately, a lot of people are still hating on women, like, oh, e-girls, they're getting views because they're chicks, and it's like, that's not true, dude. Like,
Those are really sad people.
I'm not getting views because I'm a woman. I'm getting views just like anyone else gets views, but you got to ask, why are people staying here?
That's right.
And it's not because they're just staring at me. The interesting, you look at a new streamer versus an older streamer. The older streamers tend to make their cameras smaller. Like there's less crap on my stream. I no longer have all the bells and whistles. Like I cleaned it up. It's about the game, and I'm there because people do want to see my face. They want to see everyone's face. When you go to a stream, you want to connect with someone, and your face matters. That's part of how you communicate. It has nothing to do with whether you're pretty or not. They want to connect with you. That's why they're here in a live stream. And
Probably doesn't hurt though.
there are,
Oh,
I mean,
in some
it does.
Sure. But it's a
I
superficial
mean, obviously, I
metric.
do a little bit
Yeah.
of work before stream to make myself presentable, but
Oh yeah, I did 30 push-ups before the show.
yeah, you had to like pump up those
I can
arms.
see
I
it.
had to. I
Yeah.
have a
Those
brain.
veins are popping, man.
They are. My legs hurt though.
But
I
I've
think I
gone
did
to
it right.
people's streams after they complained, like, no one's watching me. Why do women get more views? And it's like, okay, when I go check out these women, because we don't have like those women on Rumble for the most part. I think we've gotten a few of them banned actually. But the women who you're going to see on the front page usually are just, they're like me, and they're like Sammy, and
Right.
then we've
They're
got
just
Gamer
normal
Girl.
people.
You show up and we're actually happy to see you. Like, oh my gosh, Uncle Pudge, how are you doing? And we'll have a conversation
It's not
and
fake.
we'll make some jokes. Right. You're connecting as a human being. And I visit a lot of streams. The same Llama does the same thing. Like we like to go around. It is so fun. This is my mod abuse right here. So people know who I am. Like it's so fun, dude. Like after you help someone in the Discord or something, and then you go to their stream and you say hi, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Diebear," and it's like, "Yeah, hey, how's it going?" They're like happy to see me, and it feels good from the viewer perspective, but also it's like, you know what? I love that this person is happy to see me here. That it's exciting for them because someone showed up that they didn't expect to see. And they respected me for whatever reason. Maybe I helped them. And I've had people tell me that, like, you were the first person to help me out with my Rumble stuff. And some of the streams I go to, and they're usually guys. Hate to say it, guys, but a lot of you are sucking at streaming, and then you're trying to blame everyone else for your problems. But like,
Weird.
you don't look at your chat ever.
It's so frustrating. Like,
there was
I go
one
to
guy,
so many
like
streams.
me and Doink went to one, and this guy was a Leafy fan, and it was just me and Doink throwing this dude a bone, and he's like, "Chat, blah blah blah, ones and twos in chat," and it's like, dude, you have two people watching you, because with the big streams, to get a response to a question, they'll have one if you this, two if you that.
Yeah,
but he's trying to emulate this big streamer who actually.
But there's 7 people watching you.
There's 2 people watching you.
Right, because your view number is false because that's just auto plays into the feed.
Like, I'm not. Yo, chat, one's in chat because Diebear's awesome. Let's do it right now. Come on, no, fuck that. I'd rather see the old and hot emotes. Those are great. But
that's great.
I have 30 people watching me. I'm not going to do the 1 and 2 thing. I can actually engage my audience. Freaking Condor. See?
Yeah, right.
I love you guys.
Look, 1. Clark Kent's
I don't
on
need
it.
1s and 2s. I can actually engage with my chat, and I love it. That's like the best part of streaming.
Like, I don't even understand. I don't know. I think that's just a lazy way to communicate. Sure, maybe there's context where it works for sure. You're like Mizkif. You got thousands of people just blowing
That's
up
where
your
you
chat.
should be using it if you want,
absolutely,
like,
so you could get mass information and understand the context of what's happening.
You have 100 people watching you. I've done it.
Right.
I've done it with 5,000 watching me on Rumble. You can talk to your chat. You don't need 1s and 2s in chat.
Right, because you suck at this game anyway.
Just die already.
Nobody's waiting on you to come revive them. And that's what you find a lot of the times is the people that come and shit on you
Excuse me.
are, they're like, oh, this content sucks, your camera sucks, your lighting sucks. Bro, you don't even make content. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Bars. No, I thought I was watching Old Hot Bear just for being Old Hot Bear. I didn't realize you could do that with Old Hot Bear. That's funny. I love emotes.
Oh, that's great. Are those your custom?
Yeah, I told someone I was going to add another one because they're like, you should add this word. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I forgot what the word was.
Oh, I think
What?
somebody said, didn't somebody tell you that you need to do a YouTube sucks one?
No.
That's one.
What if I
wonder
can't
who that
read
was.
good? Can you type a 1? Mr. Pete?
Then I would
But an
recommend you
8.
learn how
He's
to
from
read
Tennessee.
well.
Like, just cut him some slack.
He gave the 8 for me. I'm the unmentionable. He gave me an 8.
Real talk, because you suck at the game anyway. Lol. There's a lot of that shit on games, and I think it's cunt. I actually my first gaming stream back was yesterday, and I hopped on Destiny. And of course that's my game. And I think some people were like, "Wow, you're actually good at this." Like, yeah.
Right. Like, I've been playing for a minute. Thank you. Well, and that's crazy to me too. The people that come in here and be like, "Oh, you're good." The girls are so women, girls, ladies, the female sex, chicks, dames, if you will, depending on your context. But y'all are so underestimated in the streaming, gaming, esports, marketing, like all of those.
It's like, wait, there's intelligent women out there with skill?
It's so crazy for me.
I'm the one who teaches raids whenever we do raids. Like, hey, Di, you want to do a raid? Yeah, sure. Hey, I didn't tell you this, but can you teach it too? And it's like, all right, fine. My teaching raids actually go really well.
What does that mean?
It's a 6-man activity in Destiny, and it's all about
gotcha. Okay,
mechanics.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to teach people, sometimes not very skilled.
You said raids, and I thought Rumble raids, and I was like,
no,
teaching raids. Okay, but now I understand the context.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Di.
What?
Will you be my my shaman or whatever it's called in the raid? What do they call it? I forgot. It's been so long. The leader.
Sherpa?
Will you teach me? Sherpa, thank you.
Sherpa.
We need to get a Rumble group together for Destiny.
And we got little wizards in there. Might as well
we
be
need to do a Destiny raid of people who don't know what they're doing. It would be kind of funny.
I've never played the game in my life.
I haven't done one of their raids since like, what's the one with oh my god, the big guy with the big wings, and it was like,
oh, Oryx, you're talking Destiny 1.
Yeah, the Dark Below. Which one was that?
I don't know. Raid Sherpa die. What is that, Edible? I think that's D1. They brought back Kingsfall.
Kingsfall, that's the one.
Yeah,
yes,
they brought that
Kingsfall.
back. It's a free raid.
Okay.
It's so good.
I haven't done the new one. That's the last
My
one I
two
did, though.
favorite raids in Destiny are Kingsfall, which is a D1 raid, and then Last Wish, which is before they left Blizzard. So new Bungie kind of sucks. I think kind of is an understatement. They're trash.
Sorry.
Bastards.
Yeah, they ruined everything.
That's why I can't play Destiny as much as I used to.
Yeah, I've never played that game in my life, and it just
keep it that way.
I agree. I got enough things going on.
I think it works though. Like she could be really good at Destiny, but I think he can also be a sucky game player as well. Like you don't have to be an expert
absolutely
to entertain people. There's people
You just
that
need
love
that
to see people fail.
personality.
Yeah, and understanding. I think this was really big for me. I made post-produced content for a while, and I did my podcast and everything. It was really difficult to associate the camera with an individual and try to imagine that like this, and stop being afraid of the lens, and people are so psychologically averse to, they see a lens in front of their face and they get so nervous, and it's just, you're just talking to people, and streaming has
like if you're at a bar, like Saturday night.
Absolutely.
That's what we'll be doing Saturday night.
you gotta push through the early stages of having none or one, or just not very consistent people that come in your chat. You gotta network. You gotta build your brand.
I will say, dude, it blows my mind when I like yesterday. I think I had 10 people waiting for me, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
all right, let's go."
that's valuable.
I think you brought up YouTube, or you made me think of YouTube, and that also, like for Destiny, I do have a target market for sure,
Mhm.
and my target market are. I used to be hardcore, but I target more newer players who don't quite understand everything, and I teach them. Like if I do a vault cleaning, I'm going to teach them how to test the gun, what I'm looking for, how the different barrels and mags affect how the gun handles, why I go with certain perks. We may test like range and damage. I do non-meta builds for armor sets. I have a lot of fun just being off meta, and some of my stuff is majorly cool. And I've seen some of it catch on in the community before. Be nice if I was, credited for it, but but yeah, I've had a few of my builds catch on, and yeah. So I know who I make stuff for. It's not for Glad. I don't play like Glad. I'm not gonna like one shot a boss. It's all about a strategy, and I don't like using meta stuff. I'd rather go in and use stuff that I enjoy using, something that gives me really good flow in the game, because Destiny is all about movement and how the guns feel. Like the best guns I've ever used in any video game. Nothing matches Destiny guns, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why that game is still alive.
Yeah.
Even in PvP. But
So Condor had a great little point here that kind of was along the same lines of what I was going to ask you. He said, do you build a quote avatar or persona of your target market? I think that's a great idea, especially the more tangible of a learner that you are. If you need like a vision board or a spreadsheet, or however you need to visualize your target market, you create a person that you're speaking to, and it depends on how niche you want to get. It can be, a mother of 3 in San Francisco that has a part-time job and spends some time on the internet. It can be really specific like that, or it can just be really broad of like, young men 23 to 32. But
I think what's interesting, if you do YouTube, you'll actually get your demographics. Like I think 98% of my viewers are men, and they're between like 18 and 35. That's the bulk of my viewers.
So how are you building your personas? Where are you getting your data from that helps you understand what your target market is?
Honestly, it was
comments.
Oh yeah, I love comments. And I study comments. Like I was watching I posted on Twitter, I was watching an abortion debate earlier, not because I really want to watch that, because fuck that shit. But Trent Horn is a Catholic apologist who I just love, and he's really good at debating. And he was debating Destiny on the whatever podcast. Like what a crazy
person Destiny.
What a crazy freaking concept to have those two debating each other over that topic on that show. And I went there and I was just reading the comments most of the time, because I study people. I like to study people, and every video I watch, I'll go and read the comment section, and it's really interesting because comments have been changing these last couple of years. So you're starting to see how society is changing for the better by reading the comments, and how people are changing their minds about things. And YouTube, I think, used to be a harsher place, honestly, comments wise. And for me with Destiny, because I actually do know what I'm talking about, and I actually do provide different ideas, not steal them from bigger people. And the people who come to my stream, or not my stream, my videos, they'll leave comments like, wow, I tried this build and this was amazing. I'm having fun. And then I had people come to my Twitch stream. My first ever video was like a warlock jumping video, terrible quality, but it's one of my more popular ones because people have a hard time with warlock jumping. And this guy comes into my Twitch stream one day and he says, hey, I found you on YouTube. My buddy was hating warlock, and so we checked out a few warlock jumping videos, and yours was the only one that really clearly explained it. And now he won't stop playing. I was like, there we go. That's my goal with my Destiny videos. Like,
Yeah.
I want people to actually know what they're doing. And I'm very good at cutting out the noise and boiling things down so they make sense, which is probably why my Sherpa rates go really well. So from a streaming perspective, more testing. I test and I look for feedback. And really, you know, at this level, that's what you should be doing, is looking for feedback. And you got to ask yourself, like, who is the feedback coming from? By the way, hi, Battleroid.
What up, Battleroid?
Because if it's someone who isn't a good fit for my community, like if there's someone who's constantly negative, or if they're always disagreeing, they argue for the sake of arguing, I don't want to please that person. They're gonna take themselves out.
They're not your target audience.
Yeah, I very rarely ban people. It's incredibly rare. Even from my Discord, when I had falling outs with people, I would let them remove themselves. I don't do that.
Yeah, you got to
I'm
ignore
not
the
going to be that
bullies.
person. So
You stop giving them attention.
but it all comes down to, like, who are you compatible with? I prefer to like my audience.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I hope that answered your question. Was there a fear or obstacle that you all had to overcome before deciding to live stream? I find that I hyper focused on a lot of the stuff that everyone else did, but the thing that's different about me is I researched the hell out of anything. Welcome back, Mayhem. Anything that I'm interested in. So I've binge watched so many videos and live streams and stuff about streaming. And what people usually are concerned about is, should I have a camera? How should I look? Am I allowed to eat on camera? Yes. The answer is yes.
Whatever you want.
I was doing
It's your
16-hour streams. I was eating 3 meals a day on stream. And you know what? We haven't done a lot on Rumble just because we haven't been here that long, but we usually have holiday streams like Memorial Day. We actually did it for Memorial Day. I'm like, get your grilled foods out. We're going to freaking eat on Memorial Day, because I come home for an extra day from my parents. So I can have that day to myself before I go back to work. And I stream. We have parties here. We haven't done the New Year's stream here, but we'll be doing that here on New Year's. That'll be fun. I think it'll be our 5th annual New Year's stream. And wow, dude, they're great. They're phenomenal. And we had I think we had 10 or 12 people in my Discord channel at New Year's, and I watched the ball drop from New York, and we all toasted, and we were just,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we hung out there for like an hour watching a couple of different things, maybe 2 hours, but it's a party here on New Year's.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
For me, there was the block and fear of perfection as far as starting with all the right stuff, starting with the light, starting with the camera, the mic, all that stuff. But I think honestly for me, my biggest blockers was my physical, how I felt about myself physically, because I was actually like 60, 70 pounds bigger than I am now. So I had to deal with that. And then my age, getting over the subliminal, or getting inside your own mind about how old you are and then jumping in and doing streaming.
That's right. Becoming more
of
like
a young
person's
thing, I feel like an idiot
it's
jumping
so
in here
not.
doing this.
I'm old, man.
People said that about Instagram, about YouTube, about Facebook, about Twitter. They said it about everything, that it's for kids, for Snapchat. You would be amazed. And I'm sure you guys probably are in the game, but people would be amazed at the amount of 35 to 50-year-olds that are on Snapchat for hours a day. It's incredible. Yeah. So it's not a young person's game. Pee-wee football is a young person's game. Streaming, is not.
Look at the stuff that's been happening to me on Rumble. Like the other day, Llama, he was like, "Di, what's up with all these 20-year-olds hitting on you?" Just like, what are these 20-year-olds thinking you're hot? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. The old and hot thing came from Steve Will Do It. It won't die. It's freaking hilarious.
That's funny.
She's old.
Spar.
She's hot.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Spars Any of y'all have the issues of during your first time hearing your own voice? Like,
Yes.
that's not what my voice sounds like in real life. I want to address that. No, that is not what your voice sounds in real life to other people in real life. There are frequency changes between the microphone and the earphones that happen. So that voice you hear on a recording, you've never heard your own voice ever, because you can't on a recording
been pretty
anyway.
though. You still have your in spite of that, you still have your unique voice tone that does come through to a certain
Absolutely.
degree.
And there are some
Absolutely.
people that have legitimately bad voices that need some
Help.
effects to kind of clean it
For
up. Yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
So, I mean,
I don't disagree
there
with
is some
that at all.
considerations
got-
to make.
Dude, I
But
got used to my
nobody
voice
likes
after
it.
I started doing YouTube editing, because I'd go through and do my tutorials or my playthroughs,
Mhm.
and I had to listen and do audio adjustments. And
Same thing.
I think after like maybe 5 videos, I was like, oh, I actually sound all right.
Yeah, like
just-
it,
Oh,
you
you
just
put
gotta
a lot
get
of time into editing a
past
video,
it.
though. Yeah,
That's right. And
Like,
the
it took
same
me
thing
4
when I was
hours to
doing
edit
stuff.
a video for Rumble. Like, come on.
100%. It would take me 4, 5, 6 hours when I first started to cut through everything. I didn't know what I was doing, so I would have to listen to myself talk over and over and over again, and I would get so sick of it because I hate the way I sound.
And then you got used to it.
But then, right, you get over it. You understand that when you start getting the feedback, that the things that you're self-conscious about, nobody is commenting on. Virtually nobody cares about the sound of your voice. They care about the content of your character that you're making.
Well, I started learning from live streaming that the things that I was really insecure about were the things that people actually loved about me.
That
Right?
happens too.
So-
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, the stupidest things that I do sometimes are the most entertaining.
Just stop comparing yourself to other people and just be you.
That's right.
Again, people just want to connect with you, and God made you a certain way, and it's okay.
It
Yeah.
comes down to your authenticity, and I can say there are a couple streamers on YouTube that I follow. I really like them, but if I'm not in the mood to hear their voice, I simply just won't watch their video. But that doesn't prevent me from
Who are they?
subscribing and coming back. But
But
I
that's
mean, they
absolutely
acknowledge
right.
that they don't have a good
funny.
recording voice. So
Yep.
if they're aware of it, they just play to it. And me as a listener, if I'm not in the mood, I just won't listen. But I still like them. So
Exactly, and that goes back to the real ones will always come back. Jumping back
Well, and if
to
you make
how-
good content, you make good content. It
That's
is what it
absolutely
is.
right. If there's value provided of any kind, if there's value, people will come back and return to your stream, your store, your show, whatever it is. We were talking about Gary Vee earlier, and for like 9 months, he was doing shows where he would eat while he talked, and I don't. It doesn't matter what it is. I can't stand the sound of someone chewing. And he would have his lav mic right here, and he would smack.
See, I've never
I
eaten into my
hate
mic. That's
it.
rude.
Absolutely hate it. And but like that was just. It's just who he is. He says fuck all the time. It's just who he is, and he's not about to make a micro adjustment for what ultimately isn't gonna matter. Because I stopped listening for 9 months because he was doing that, and then I came back because there's so much value, and I would even listen through some of it because the content is so valuable to me that I'm willing to put aside. Like, it makes my body hurt when people chew out loud, but it was worth it because the content was valuable.
I have to get on people sometimes. Like, hey, stop crunching into the microphone.
So you're doing better than me. I
yourself.
could even give them the time of day, and I just can't. I can't do that sound. Period. Like, I'm like, no, I'm gone later.
I don't do ASMR. It's not my thing.
Yeah,
Nails on the
there's
chalkboard.
there's no compromise for me with that. I just
That's
can't.
right. I literally unsubscribed from him on all the platforms because he posts videos and there's always him. He was always chewing, and I was
Dude,
like,
manners in the gaming community. Kids don't learn manners these days.
oh, 100%. But that's because parents don't demonstrate manners. If any child you look at is just a mirror reflection of the environment that they live in every single day at home. You want to know why your kid's an asshole? It's because you're an asshole.
Yep.
Your
Yep.
kid's disrespectful.
It's
It's because you're disrespectful.
You provided no framework
Still-
for that kid.
That's
No
right.
standards.
We don't live in an "I told you so" generation. We haven't for a very long time. And you have to develop with the psychology of individuals, whether we like it or not. These kids are smarter at 13 than we were at 20. They have so much access to information and way smarter than our grandparents were at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
I saw something the other day. I think they were talking. It might have been like the plastics that kids are being exposed to, but I can't remember what the cause was. I'd have to find it. But it was something that I avoid like crazy. And they're finding that kids are actually losing like 5 to 10 IQ points because of what they're being exposed to. And
I
that's
would not be
that's
surprised.
insane.
Absolutely.
How's
And
it
it's,
that low?
I guarantee you it's higher than that based on they're not getting any nutrition from the food that they're being served. Whether it doesn't matter if you go to Whole Foods, Kroger, or McDonald's, it's all fake shit. If you want real food, grow it in your backyard.
Someone took a picture of a basket with a bunch of like keto foods, and it's like anyone who's on keto and actually healing from it, they know that you can't eat processed food. And it's like, dude, it can say
Yeah.
keto all day long, but they're putting things in there that will
absolutely-
prevent
they're
you from
synthesizing
healing.
it.
Like, you need to eat real food.
That's right. They're synthesizing
Keto is also not a, it's
manufactured
not a
food.
regulated market.
No,
It's also really bad for your body to stay in keto consistently. It's like
no, it's very good
intermittent-
for your body to be in keto.
Not constantly though.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Nope,
Do we
it's
have to
good.
do we have to have a carny
We'll have to have
conversation?
a,
part
we'll,
two?
ha- we'll have to have that conversation
It-
too.
Actually, you don't need carbs. You don't need to ingest carbs. Your body makes what you
I
need.
agree with that.
So,
I agree with that. Ooh,
Keto is the best thing ever for me. With that said, I do cycle, but I'll take 1 week out of the month. 'Cause
well, yeah, I think that everybody's
cravings.
different too. Oh, that's right.
Saturday, I'm eating spaghetti because I am not going to get as drunk as I did on the last pirate panel. That
That's
hurt.
right. I
Oh
don't
my
eat
gosh,
anything
dude.
but carbs. That's literally all I eat. Like
I can't. I would be so sick.
I have a trash stomach, but McDonald's is my weak spot. 2 double cheeseburgers and a McChicken with cheese, baby,
Shut up. That sounds good.
all day.
I do love McDonald's. Like, that was my gig.
Yeah,
I'll go
But-
there like maybe once or twice a year. Actually, honestly, when I eat out now, I go to Culver's.
Culver's. That's so funny. I hadn't been in
I
Culver's
just
in forever.
their stuff is McDonald's is good, but man, I really like Culver's. But
Mhm.
like if I'm more likely to go out like if I after church and there's like this really good Chili's in that town. Oh my gosh.
Yo, Chili's.
Chili's is
dope.
one of my favorites.
I don't remember. So I've been getting the same thing at Chili's for probably 3 years. I don't remember what the last original thing I got from Chili's was. I always get the triple dipper appetizer plate.
That's one of the things I'll get. I've been going there so long though.
That's my main course.
Lately
we'll
I've
get
been
an
back
appetizer,
on the nachos. Hey,
and then
Legend.
I'll get the triple dipper. Yeah, what up, UB?
Marie Callender's beef pot pies. Pot pies are so good.
All day.
Oh my gosh.
What? Pot pie. I
Can't
love
relate
pot
to you guys
pies.
anymore.
Yes, the skillet queso is just stupid good. Yeah, their French fries are.
That's right.
Oh my gosh! So last
Banging.
month I went there and I got a burger
Yeah.
with fries, and he brings it out, and I took a bite of the fry. And it was so hot and so good, and I just like had. I was like, oh my gosh! Like the
That's
look
called a
on my face.
mouthgasm.
So I look at the end of the bar, and this woman's staring at me, and she looks at the bartender. And she's like, "Can I get some fries?" And I was, the look on my face wasn't it? She's like, "Yeah."
That's right. That's right.
Very expressive when I eat.
Yeah. Chili's ribs are actually pretty banging. I don't know if you've ever had them,
They
but
to maintain the quality of their food. I'm guessing that they just haven't been bought out by a venture capitalist yet, like Outback and
yeah, something like
Applebee's.
that.
They were just
Everybody else
destroyed.
is trash.
Really good. Outback breaks
Really?
my heart though.
Yeah,
In
right.
Colorado, Chili's was pretty trash.
Is it really? It's because it's
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado has some of the best restaurants. What are you talking about? Man, other states are
Chili's here
jealous
is
of Colorado.
amazing, dude. We have amazing restaurants
Oh.
here. It's crazy.
That's so funny.
Have you guys had the new Red Robin burgers by any chance?
I've never eaten Red Robins in my life. Overpriced.
New ones or just? I mean, I go to Red Robin.
Like
They're
They
good.
completely rebuilt. They supposedly completely rebuilt their hamburgers.
Wait,
The
when?
entire menu. Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think they're doing
Red
the what do they call them?
Yum.
The flat burgers now.
Oh,
The smash
really?
burgers.
Smash
Yeah.
burgers are good.
Yeah, they rebranded them to like these thick. I don't know. They're basically smash burgers though.
But if they're
yeah,
thick,
I was
they're
just
not
curious.
smash burgers.
They're like on the thicker side, but you could tell they've been smashed because they're caramelized and everything.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go and test it just for science.
Let me know.
I don't
You
even
just-
know where
let us
the
know about your
closest
theory
Red
and
Robin
your
is to where I live.
resolution.
My wife never craved Chili's until she got pregnant, and I've never been prouder as a husband. And dude, it took you how long to get her pregnant? You would have tried harder had you known.
Had you
wouldn't
known if that was going to be the key. Belleroy, good night, man. Hated you ever leave us.
I'll take my pork steaks, T-bone steaks, taters, very light homemade sour cream and butter, and green beans any day. Yeah, so good. Can't go
As
wrong
long
with
as
steak.
you get it from a reputable source, preferably raised, full fed
And buy from
on
a
grass. Yeah, buy from a local farmer because the shit you get from Walmart isn't real. Look up
7 years.
glued meat.
You could not find your way, could you, Mayhem? Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
7 years.
They make videos to show you how to do it.
Right? Go find the leftist
There are
internet. They'll show you all sorts
Thousands.
of
It's all
things.
over Twitter.
Wow, dude.
You
Man.
know, I'm kind of curious. It kind of segues into this since we're talking about it. But what I don't personally know, so I'm curious what you guys would say as far as being a streamer. What is a good? What would you recommend as a good diet for possibly like, you know, keeping your energy levels up or, you know, things like that? Like if you do a long stream, what do you do to kind of keep yourself sustained?
I do not, like a really long stream, I do not drink alcohol like I will Saturday. And I do
Interesting.
not eat carbs because I will, especially at my age, boom, carbs mean sleep, which is why Saturday is going to be really funny. I'll be the new Ericonda. Now I'll be fine.
That's funny.
But
Grazing is how I sustain energy over long periods of time. Not having, and this is actually really healthy for you too, not having major meals, like there's not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but like I'm eating some grains and fruit in the morning and yogurt at 10:30 and then a banana at 11:45 and then like some cheese and crackers at 12:30. You know, all day I'm eating just a little bit and a little bit to kind of keep my metabolism rolling constantly instead of having these highs and lows. So that's kind of how I maintain my energy for long periods of time. I haven't done like a really super long stream. I think 9 hours is the longest stream I've had.
one thing I want to point out in
Right.
chat, Spars asked if he's like, do you believe that the grass fed only are actually grass fed only? It actually has a different texture. Like if you compare the ground beef, it does have a different texture. Grass fed is
And you
amazing.
have to get grass finished, not grass fed, because grass fed means they gave them grass once. If you get grass finished, that means they have lived their entire life raised on grass. Because so grass fed, they're allowed under that designation, they're allowed to do a lot of grains.
I think it depends on who you buy it from because like Whole Foods has, they call it grass fed, but then they describe like how the cows are actually treated and they are actually grass fed.
It's all about doing
Mine
to
are
know that.
grain
I
fed
didn't
from the
know
farmer
that.
that I buy from now, but it's
Mhm.
still better than what I'm going to get in the store. And I know what they're doing with their cows, which
That's
I'd
the biggest
prefer
deal.
grass fed, but I don't really care about grain fed too much if they're not having other things added to them and the
Mhm.
cows are healthy and they're not being treated like crap.
So like in a world of, you know, different types of sponsorships with all these different types of energy drinks and all that type of stuff, are those things that you would consider taking up or suggest anybody else to possibly get behind?
It's a terrible idea to drink energy drinks of any kind.
Yeah. Or juice. Don't do juice. You're
Start
doing it,
drinking my
aren't you?
Quick I am. It's my
the
cheat
can
day.
and I was like, mother trucker.
Yeah, it's my cheat day.
I love cheat days.
But yeah, no, I would not, especially if you're going to do things like that consistently. If you're going to brand yourself as somebody that has really long streams, and we're talking about what your regular diet is going to be, understanding that you're going to be spending a lot of time not exerting a whole lot of energy. You don't need carbs. You don't need processed sugar. You don't need things that are just going to sit and need you to and turn
You don't need
energy into
gamer
fat.
subs, people. Just freaking eat healthy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sitting on your ass.
Block them
Drink
when
some
you
water.
get those ads on Instagram.
Mother
Because
trucker.
they're ridiculous.
You don't need glitch energy. What the heck?
Definitely
Yeah,
not. Yeah, that's right, Spars. Energy drinks are so bad, and they're bad for everything. From the moment they leave the can and enter your body, it's destroying everything it's touching.
I don't think hay is the issue, Spars. It's grain versus grass. Hay is still technically a grass.
That's right. It's grass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just dry.
Energy drinks. I used to drink a lot of them. It gave me arrhythmia. That's how I got my heart condition that I'm working through. So
yeah, listen to the
as
old
a-
people.
As a streamer,
Yeah, listen to us.
Yeah.
We have stories.
Listen,
That's right. We
listen
can
to
tell
your
you.
elders.
I'm the old one here.
But as a streamer, I definitely would not be one. If they came to me, I would not be one to sponsor or affiliate myself with like Glitch Energy or any of those guys, just because I know what energy drinks did to me. I'm not saying that all energy drinks can necessarily do that, but I don't know. I don't think I'd want to put that out to my audience.
I am.
Like
I'm saying that exact thing, that all energy drinks, synthetic energy drinks, stuff like this, terrible. They destroy your body. What is this?
I'm actually on day
Less
2
than
of not having
5% actual
caffeine
juice.
because my sleep is screwed up, and I mean the magnesium helps a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take caffeine out now and see if my sleep can stabilize better because I'm tired of waking up in the middle of the night. But I mean, you can get away with a lot more when you're younger, but when
Absolutely.
you get older, it starts to catch up with you. You do not want to find yourself at 40 and needing to heal your body. It's not cool. And yet that's
Absolutely.
Or
what
in my
happens to
case-
everybody. Yeah.
Or in my case, I was I think I was about 36 or so when I got my arrhythmia, and that was from doing multiple energy drinks virtually every single day for several years.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's a terrible
just,
idea.
Don't wait till you're older. Just don't do it. That's
you
my
don't need the
advice for
caffeine,
any
you
stream.
Go-
Just
need
don't do
to
it.
eat healthy.
Go educate yourself on what these chemicals are doing inside your body, because when they're happening for decades at a time, when you're chugging these energy drinks and putting in these synthetic supplements that aren't real, it'd be different if you're getting some like concentrated B12 gummy from wherever that place is that sells those things, or whatever it is. If it's something natural, that's different than just chugging these, and I don't know what they're called, the gummies that they have for energy, the drinks they have for energy. It's all
It's
bullshit,
crazy.
and they don't care about you.
It's a huge moneymaker because you're addicted to crap. That's really what it is. Stop.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely
Stop
Literally
right.
ingesting
you.
crap,
You're
guys.
you're addicted to sugar. Caffeine is more addictive than heroin.
And it's so good.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
so
selling you
good.
flavored caffeine.
It's
I'm
so
not having a caffeine addiction issue though. Like I'm actually doing fine without it.
Mm-hmm.
I just went cold yesterday, and
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
And
sleep
I don't-
well. But I
some
also
people can
flush
get
my body
really
out a
hooked
lot.
on it. Yeah.
I don't have anything against caffeine in of itself. Like I don't think it was necessarily the caffeine that did me in. It's the problem with the energy drinks, at least the ones I was drinking, Monster, Rockstar,
Mhm.
Amp, like all of those,
Yeah.
is they're also packed with a bunch of other things
Crap.
that also increase your heart rate and everything. So combined with the high caffeine content, then combined with all the extra energy inducing vitamins and whatever else they put in there.
And everything that's destroying your immune system.
Yeah. Like I drink coffee virtually every single day, and I have no
Love
issues
coffee.
as far as that goes.
I'm
but,
drinking
like,
decaf right now just because I love coffee.
Yeah.
But-
Look, I'm gonna have to go make a cup of coffee. because y'all are making me crave it. But yeah, I do, like, I have instant coffee that I throw a little bit of creamer
We should
in,
do a
and
coffee show.
that would be great. And then
Coffee
I have
appreciation
like
day.
1 cup of like Jeremy coffee brand coffee that I have,
Yep.
and that's what, like, that almost gives me jitters. That's so much caffeine.
Oh my gosh.
But it really helps me focus, once it all kind of settles in.
We got a Silver in chat. What's up?
What's
Sugar
up,
bread. What's up,
Oh
man?
my gosh.
This is, guys, this is like my first real stream back. I did my studio build for a couple of days this week, but this is like my first real stream back on Rumble.
We're having a lot of firsts today.
Yeah,
That's good,
Mix kid being on his first stream. Man, that's fantastic. Whole lot of fun. I really do want to talk about with the kind of things that we had gone over on Twitter a little bit as far as content putting out or output and consistency. I don't know, what you guys are doing for maybe your clients, and what are you guys focusing on with them inside your agencies or wherever you're working?
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
This is a Ryan question.
Yeah, Ryan. So what do you
That's a
do?
good question.
What are you talking about with your clients as far as producing content for the internet, aka social media?
Okay, let's switch brains here from streaming to marketing.
Mhm.
So traditionally, it's all about getting your product into the forefront of whoever your client base is. So a lot of times for us, it'll be creating a email campaign that they can work with, a schedule of YouTube videos, any sort of podcasting, any sort of Pinterest posts or tweets, like schedule out tweets, anything like that. It's a lot of we're finding that a lot of social media these days is pay to play, basically. So it's really difficult for a traditional company to get the visibility and growth that one might used to have been able to get without actually paying for it.
Mhm.
Particularly like Facebook. Facebook for a lot of companies is mostly cut off unless you pay for the ads and things like that. So it's really just it's industry. It's really industry based. We deal with a lot of bloggers and smaller companies. They usually already have like an established social media presence, and they oftentimes just need help boosting their marketing or like their email campaigns and everything. And so we'll help with them with that.
Yeah.
But
Do they see a lot of what's the open rate like on email these days?
to my knowledge, the best open rate that we're seeing and still seems to be the average is about 10%.
Wow.
It's low. It's always been low.
That's so crazy.
I don't know if it's changed very much.
Probably not.
It might have even gone
Facebook was
down. Like I haven't looked
created.
at the overall thing, but
Well, in the 90s, people, everybody was doing it. So like you were getting 60, 70, 80, 90% open rates.
it's not anywhere like that anymore.
It's crazy.
Are you talking about email
Yeah.
marketing?
Yeah.
If you're doing 10%, you're doing really well.
There's so many emails,
So-
dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are your clients investing a lot of money into that? So when you are working with a client, is it just kind of like a package thing? Like we're an agency and we're gonna manage these things. Give you a plan. Obviously, you'll operate on all those things,
Mhm.
but. Or is it line by line? Like a video is going to cost you this much. Email marketing is this much.
No. So it's kind of a tricky industry to pay or to cost
Yeah, right?
Put a price to sometimes. So we've gone around. We tried like the per product type of thing. We've tried the hourly thing, and we've kind of just found that what we've been doing is selling several packages, and within that package, we'll do whatever work is necessary that you need. But you're getting like a fixed amount of hours that you can get up to. So if we say you get this one package and you get 5 hours, you can use those 5 hours however you want. But if your project goes over that, then you have to buy an additional package, or we'll work with you to create like a custom one.
Yeah.
We found that's kind of the more flexible one, and people tend to get attracted to that because they're not. It's not that it's cheap, but it's a much smaller entry fee than a lot of people expect. Like one of the things that we constantly get is, wow, that's a lot cheaper than I expected. And it can be, because when you get into those bigger agencies and they have these massive packages, we're talking 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
It's going to freak a lot of people out.
Especially when they're charging you 15, 20 grand for 10 posts a month.
Yeah. And we were doing that too. We used to do the post thing, and I think now my wife actually does all like the email marketing stuff, so she's more familiar with it. I think she's not doing per post anymore. I think now it's just it's set hours. So as long as all the content's ready, and say, she gives like 5 hours, and maybe that month she could do 10 emails because they're easy emails, then you get 10 emails. But if you do like a tougher campaign that takes more time, then you're going to get less out of that. So it's really about strategizing with the client to figure out what their priorities are for that month and figure out what can fit within that package, or if we need to bump them up.
Yeah.
We hold hands where we need to, but for the most part, the clients that we get it's kind of a mixed bag. We tend to get the ones that kind of already are established and kind of know what it is that they're needing and wanting. Every once in a while, we do get those ones where it's like from the ground up. And those ones are a little bit more challenging.
For sure.
But,
dude, it blows my mind how many people get your go live alerts in an email. It's like, really? You rely on emails? Like I never see my emails unless I
hate email.
Me too.
I'm
done with that.
I avoid it at every turn.
I can't believe how connected people are to their phone. Guys, get the hell off your phones.
Go touch some grass.
Oh my gosh. I don't have notifications turned on for anything unless someone directly tags me in Discord. I can't do it. It's too much. When it comes to like what I watch, when I have time to watch something, I know where to go to look for what I want to see.
And it's all based on what you value in the moment, because I'm the same way sometimes. I'd fluctuate and go back and forth on my notifications. Sometimes I get tired of seeing Twitter notifications all the time, and I just want to check in when I want to check in, and I don't want to feel pressured or anything like that. But for the most part, I've only got notifications on for people that I want to be informed of what's happening and be kind of abreast of their situation. And so I can oftentimes be the first to comment, with a lot of, especially bigger people, be the first to comment and show that I'm paying attention.
Everything, like I when you look at some people's phones, they have like 50 notifications on each app, and it's like, dude, clean your shit up, because nothing means
that frustrates me.
Yeah.
And I have some news notifications just because I like seeing the headlines and roll through, but I clear my notifications like every 20 minutes. And I don't have a ton, and I have Life 360, so I know where my kids are. I have Snapchat that's how I communicate with my kids. That's funny. I had a youth group a few years ago that I was in charge of, and that I'm still connected to those guys. They've graduated high school now, and I'm still connected to those guys that I've got Snapchat streaks with. So I'm building relationships there, and so I got notifications from that, but I don't have a ton of notifications on. Like, I hate it when people bother me.
Yes, thank you.
Leave me alone.
My notifications got so bad one time that I actually got so conditioned that for a good amount of time, I don't know the time frame, but I don't want to say suffered from, but I experienced phantom vibrations.
I still get those.
What?
I get them on my wrist,
phantom vibrations,
and I get them on my right leg.
I'm so glad I just said no.
That's real shit.
like drugs
Yeah.
in the 80s.
I knew where you were headed with that
It's
too.
crazy. Like you get so acclimated that you start feeling something that's not happening.
Right.
And it feels like your phone went off.
It really does, though, and
Yeah.
it starts to get really scary when you start hearing it vibrate, and
Yes.
and then you're like, oh, I'm actually on it.
Okay, I have my
You just gotta be
family
careful
in
with it.
Discord in case anyone has an emergency because no one can get a hold of me on my phone. Like no vibration, no sounds. So unless I'm looking at it, I don't see it. But I'm always at my computer. Although
Right.
lately I've been turning, I had this off last night and it was kind of nice. But
That's
But
how
yeah,
I'm with my
Discord.
watch.
Like I see the Discord notifications.
Mhm.
That's the only Discord I don't have muted at all is my family one, which is kind of annoying.
Right,
sometimes.
right.
But yeah,
It's- I just always find those memes hilarious that like where they're like, hey, for 30 days you get to go to this cabin, you don't have internet, you don't have access to your devices, whatever, $100,000. They make it sound like such a big deal. I'm like, just sign me up, dude. That's
Just
how I
go
lived for most of my
camping
life.
or
Oh, bro, that's called airplane mode.
Yeah.
I used to live up north and there's a town that didn't have cell reception. I think they added it since then and the town was really against it. But I was working for the hospital at the time. I was doing ultrasound and I had a pager. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
They paged me constantly. I freaking hated it. It was so stressful. So then when I wasn't on call, I would go up to the town north of us with no cell phone reception and I would just hang out there, camp in a friend's yard, mountain bike. Nobody could get a hold of me. I loved not having a phone. I'm still traumatized from phones. Like I just can't.
I love leaving the house without my phone.
Such an introvert. So I use my phone for music in the car. That's what I use it for. I had this
think that's a
freaking
good thing.
Pixel 7
Absolutely.
Pro. I use it for music,
Yeah, well,
but it'll last
I think it's a
me.
good thing if people can manage is
it's all about discipline.
separate themselves. Like if as don't burn yourself out as a streamer. Like step away if you can afford it. Take like a week off of your streaming or whatever you need to do and just
Let people know. Yeah.
You just can't
Yes,
forget
let
you.
people know, but like detox yourself because I dumped Twitter for almost a month. I wasn't perfect, but I dumped it for almost a month. And even though it wasn't the entire month, just that time that I was off of it made a huge difference in my
That was
mental
Pride
health.
Month, wasn't it?
It was coincidentally, right? Just happened to be Pride Month.
Anytime you stuck that gun, I'm like, aren't you supposed to be off this month?
That's because that's where it got difficult is because I did want to be off of it, but at the same time I was still doing my streaming and everything, and I wanted to promote myself. And of course, it's impossible to get on there and not want to check things. But I would recommend people when they can detox themselves from that stuff every once in a while, clear their mind because sometimes that can bleed off into your audience. You have a bad stream because you're having a bad time on Twitter. And
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I will say when it comes to getting people into the stream, Twitter and my Discord. But again, I have a Discord community.
Yeah, it just depends on where your community's at.
Throw it out there, but Twitter has been amazing, not only for just notifying people that I'm going live, but dude, like networking. I can't believe who follows me and who I've become friends with. It's insane.
Yeah, same here. Especially ever since I
personality.
got on Rumble. Coming in, Rick followed me. That was really cool. Dave Landau follows me.
Wait, I want Dave Landau. I love him.
Yo, like all I did, and this is the thing. It's IP hacking. It's building a relationship. I spent a lot of time with my notifications on for Dave. I would reply to everything. I would retweet it or like it. Something. I would interact with his content genuinely because I love Dave.
Yeah.
And it's easy, especially when you
There
have
was one the other
notifications
day
on.
though where I wanted to like it, and I'm like, oh no, Diane. I laughed.
It's
but
so
it was
easy.
so bad.
Yeah. It's so easy. You just watch when these people are online, and I just tweeted. I was like, it'd be cool if Dave Landau followed me. And he was like, boom, dreams can come true.
Wow.
It's crazy how many people I've gotten to follow me, like big name people, millions of followers, just with something like that. And after genuine interaction and building a community inside of their community.
I have some
branding.
like some big Destiny content creators, and you find out who the conservatives are in gaming if they're following me. And then Bloodshed is like my favorite Diablo creator, and he kind of went quiet for a while, but he's now working for Blizzard. But he's been following me for a while. Diver, how's True Social been? I just post go live notifications. I don't really have time to do much with True Social. I don't have the network that I have on Twitter. Like I actually have a network on Twitter, and it goes back years with people I know.
Mm-hmm.
So to try to start it over again on Truth, it's time I don't have, and that's just I don't have time. If I were streaming full time and I didn't have a job over here, like my work computer's here, I would be able to manage more networks, but it's so much work. And then
That's right.
like just getting the stream thrown up. Thanks to Pudge for choosing the topic and
Oh, absolutely. It was just happens. And I think it's super duper important. And you know, if this is something that you want to do, and it doesn't matter what the product is. If you have a SaaS product, if you make T-shirts, if you
Software as a
make
service.
stickers, software as SaaS, software as a service. You know, if you want to be a streamer, you just insert the product, and this model of just do it works everywhere. And if you want to get big with it, then you have to create content. You have to put it in front of your audience. You have to market yourself.
And I hate to say it, guys. I know this is Rumble, but like, if you're gonna do edited content, YouTube all the way. Seriously.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
don't-
And put it on Rumble as a background.
Yeah, and you need to put your categories, since we don't have categories for uploads. Put those categories as your tags, and don't overdo the tags.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the tags succinct. I always do gaming as a tag and a category,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll put like the name. Do not use a ton of tags because it affects your eCPM.
So do I say my controversial point now?
Dude, I got a $200 eCPM the other day from our podcast last week.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Too bad more people didn't click, but like.
Yeah, if I had thought about it at the beginning of this, or known that little tidbit of information, I would have been streaming this stream on my stream.
What's streaming?
Here's the
stream on your stream?
controversy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I would not appreciate that. That's an etiquette issue. If you have all your eggs in one basket, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Yes.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. If all you're doing is email marketing, if all you're doing is billboards, if all you're doing is Facebook or YouTube or just one thing, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. Because if that thing goes away, you know, newspaper used to be a really great place to get your information. And then the radio came along. And then it wasn't, because everybody was sitting in front of the radio and
Then we
not
had
the
cable
newspaper.
news television.
That's absolutely right. And then the internet
Now we have the
came.
internet.
That's absolutely right. You have to, it's day
Well,
trading
even just
attention.
the evolution of news just on the internet alone is insane.
Absolutely. It's just day trading attention. And if what you want to do is build a business, whether that's streaming or whatever, then you have to understand where your audience attention is.
And so Spars says, I'd very much love to see more edited videos on Rumble. Edited videos are a lot of fun. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Like the last edited video I did, I think was like 7 to 10 minutes. And it took me like 2 to maybe 4 hours to put it together, because I had to go like get all the information and then like cut it down and then make sure the audio was all set. A video editing for just a 10-minute video can take a very long time. And so you want to put that video where it's a good investment. And currently Rumble is not the place. Yes, you should be uploading all your stuff here. But if you're going to do edited video, 100% put that stuff on YouTube. There are some great tools to help you out with getting really good keywords, so you are in the top search results for things. Like they legit work well. And you got to have, you know, your titles and descriptions filled out properly. I use is it TubeBuddy? Yeah, I use TubeBuddy for YouTube. And if tags work the same way here, which they don't. The tags here are more for monetization purposes and for getting you in categories. I would just grab all the tags from YouTube and bring them over here. And I was doing that for a while, which did help a little bit with search, but it's a balance. We still have to see where Rumble's going to go, but I'm looking forward to Rumble actually promoting video content because
Yeah,
I
it's
really
coming.
do love editing. It's so much fun telling a stupid story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming, and I think when they get the shorts feature introduced, then you're going to see a lot more creators come over here with post-produced content. And I think that if you're not producing shorts based on the long form content that you're already making, you're missing a huge opportunity on YouTube Shorts.
I was using those like commercials for my longer videos,
That's
like
right.
hey, because you can do like the link at the end of the video. But
Mhm.
then I stopped doing it because I just ran out of time. But ideally, if I were
Yeah.
doing it full time, I would totally use shorts to get exposure.
Well, that's what my son has done. He's gone from 0 to 17,000 followers on YouTube
Wow,
since March.
what does he
And
do?
he post-produces videos of him playing Minecraft Sky Wars and voices over and does some like meme style content in YouTube Shorts. That's literally all he does. He makes 5 videos a day
Oh my
and
gosh.
post those every single day. And that's the point that I was trying to make the other day on Twitter, that his content was total shit at the very beginning. Total shit. He wasn't funny. His timing was terrible. He didn't understand.
That's how it
to
is though on
use-
YouTube. You
That's
got to
right.
get started because that's the only way you learn.
You got to start.
Yep.
And that's what I told him. I said, you have to start and you have to make a massive amount of content.
Yep.
Because as soon as you post your video, it has disappeared into the ethos of the internet.
Well, it's like I've been complaining about with features because I haven't had a real featured in months. People are like, "Oh, Diver gets featured all the time." I don't. And when
Must
I
be
got
nice.
when I got featured for Diablo, what they did is they put me in there and immediately removed me, so I was only on editor's picks. So I never
Damn.
got the featured perk. And the reason why it pisses me off, Chad, is because I've had a 1,000 follower goal for a long time on the gaming channel, and it's hard to get up there when they
Mhm.
won't feature you. And yeah, other people who are way smaller than me were getting featured back to back nights for a meaningful
Mhm.
amount of time, and suddenly they're bigger than I am, even though I've been working my ass off. And the reason why that featured thing matters is because it's like throwing an advertisement out there during the Super Bowl. You want reach, because if you can get your stream out to 5,000 people, 200 of them are going to be like, I actually like this person, and they're going to
Yeah.
follow you and show up. And that's the experience I've had on Rumble. So
Yeah.
the fact that I haven't gotten the features, yeah, I'm pretty fucking pissed about it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any either since I've been on here. I don't. I'm actually really glad. Back to me talking about earlier about how like being underestimated and in the background. I'm actually really glad because my shit's not together yet. So
Some of us have decided to we just have our little alliance, our community of streamer friends, and we're building each other up. So
absolutely.
like, if
Pretty
Predators
much.
6
'Cause
team
Rumble-
doesn't support us, they can fuck off.
They have their
Well-
they have their favorites. I mean, it's pretty clear they
They
have their
do.
favorites. So we
They have
we
their
just make it
favorites.
work.
And
I
I
haven't
think
been
that
featured in like
it
10
matters.
months.
If it's slower growth, whatever, but I'm also not promoting Rumble
Yeah.
anymore on my
It's
tweets.
also deeper growth instead of
Which
being
is
wide
my-
and shallow.
My point of
Well-
controversy was don't pigeonhole yourself just on Rumble. I know people are going to hate me to say that, but do not pigeonhole
they
I
were
yourself.
don't, I,
on
I don't
targeting
Rumble.
you.
understand why that would be
Because they
controversial.
don't understand how it works. These are not business people.
That's absolutely right.
They're purists who
Yeah,
are like,
they're
I'm pissed off at the
fundamentalists.
world and I want everyone on Rumble. That's why. That's the only reason to keep yourself
Oh
Free
on
speech
Rumble.
or no
And-
speech.
That's
Yeah.
what
Which isn't free
you're
speech.
But you're welcome to have that perspective, but you have to take your moral
Don't make
perspective
videos
out of it when you're
saying
taking
crap about me
business
because
into
I'm not
mind.
doing it your way. Right. You
And
don't
it's
affect my business.
it's business. It has nothing to do with my personal values or anything. I'm trying to make it out here. And there are 93 different social media platforms with 100 million plus users, and I'm gonna be on every fucking one.
Yep. It's,
Because
again, it's the reach
this
thing.
is
It's like
how
when getting
I eat.
featured. People
Yeah, you're
aren't
not
going
doing
to follow
Kik or
you and
YouTube,
support
you're
you
just-
if they can't find you, and you have to put yourself out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
You're just
hate
hurting yourself
Twitter.
if you don't.
Twitter
I
is
will start
stupid,
multi-streaming
and it's
again. I
even
just
dumber
haven't-
now that it's X.
I agree. I love Twitter, but I hate it.
I hate everything
It's
about it. I don't enjoy TikTok. Instagram makes me feel weird. Facebook is boring.
Like a pedo.
Like this, it's horrible. Snapchat is the most entertaining thing, and that's because I have like 4 friends that I have streaks with. But I understand I'm on all of these platforms because I understand what my goal is, and I understand that this is the television, and the television is the radio. And whether you like it or not, that's the world we live in. And you don't have to like it, and that's totally okay. But don't not produce content, don't not understand what marketing is, and don't work for somebody that produces content for failing brands
Don't
and then try to tell
full
me how to market.
social media religion on any of us. Like, just back off. And I've been the target of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I've seen too is like you'll get these people that will they'll create content and then they'll get upset because there's no growth happening, and which is totally part of the game, but they're cutting themselves off from the other avenues, because of that. So they're complaining about how they can't get anywhere, but they're refusing to expand
Do the work.
into Kik, YouTube, whatever. And it's like even some of the top creators on this platform
Mhm.
have they might do well here, but I know of some
They're all
like
multi-streaming.
Salty Cracker, for example. I know for a fact he's not only on Rumble, he has like thousands of followers here, but he's also like on Odyssey and like some other
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Like you can do your controversy or whatever, but you need to be open to other platforms. You don't have
Yep.
to do other platforms, but you're only hurting yourself if you don't.
That's absolutely right. And you
Also,
look at
if
the
you're
people,
not-
these purists and fundamentalists, and they're not winning.
But if you're
Like-
also being super controversial, like, I mean, really, just grow up.
Condor, it doesn't have
Let's
anything
grow
to
up.
do
Yeah.
with big tech. It's not about winning with
Not
or
a big
without
tech
big
thing. You
tech.
have to get your
It's
brand out there.
business.
Bubble is
It's
not helping
marketing.
us with that.
And
It's not happening.
it doesn't matter what it is. If you want your brand, your business, your streaming career, your video game career, whatever it is, insert product, it has to be seen by as many people as possible and as many platforms as possible. If your product is successful and valuable enough, newspaper ads might be valuable to you if a lot of people get their news from the newspaper. I did a poll on Facebook in a group for my city last night. And I live in a town of less than 4,000 people in the middle of Mississippi. It's the worst place on earth. But so I did a poll asking people where they get most of their news and information. And the choices were Facebook, newspaper, radio, Instagram, and local TV. And it's interesting to see the feedback. And you can always do this for your local market or for your audience if you have, an engaged audience and you're a bigger streamer especially. You can put these polls out and understand where people are watching and where they're consuming information.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody brought up asking about Gab and Truth Social. I can't so Truth Social has just been a complete bomb for me when it comes to, and I'm not talking me as like doing my streaming stuff, but me as like a business, like doing my business account and other stuff. Look, here's my stance on Gab and Truth Social. Don't waste your time. I mean, if you're wanting to be if you're wanting to really grow and get a good amount of people and you want to make money, those are not the networks that you're going to make money on. You might find very few people every once in a while that might need your services. Gab in particular, it's all they care about on there is politics. If you're not talking politics, they pretty much don't care what it is that you're talking about. And so I was on there for 2 years, I think it was. Zero growth. They just don't care. Like if those are the type of people that you want to try to attract, go for it. But if you're looking at it from a marketing standpoint and a growth perspective, I just wouldn't waste my time.
Yeah.
Just putting my 2 cents on out there from somebody that asked.
I'm there, and then I've also I downloaded Gilded again. I have a server, and I joined some other ones. I'm not active there. It's too much for me to handle right now.
That's absolutely right.
But like, I'm there just because people in my community were like, "Hey, we're on True Social," and I did it for you guys. But I can't really spend the time there that would make it worth my while if it would. Whereas on Twitter, like everyone that I follow and that I believe in, they're on Twitter. And I have fun on Twitter. Like and Twitter, I mean, the way it's built, it's really good. It's easy to do everything. And once you learn how the conversations nest, it's pretty like it's very easy to navigate. Gab I tried doing a long time ago, but like the website couldn't handle the traffic and I just gave up after like a few months.
Yeah.
I gave it a lot of time.
There's some good people that I've met on Gab, but they're very that market, and this is from what I've seen, it's very anti-platform, anti-establishment. So like on an extreme sense. So if you're not completely in alt tech, everything from your video platform that you choose to the bank account that you choose, like all of that, they're not going to give you much time of day. And that's just in this world right now, it's just not sustainable when you're trying to run a business.
That's absolutely right. You can't be a purist or a fundamentalist about it. Like you have to take your personal views out of it. It's business.
Yeah, like there's definitely good people that I've met on there. I have a couple friends on there, but I would just never like I just don't put my effort into it anymore. It was fruitless. My growth on Twitter and
we have limitations,
and
that's what they don't understand. Like people want like Rumble to have like all these different servers and stuff, and it's like, guys, they have limitations.
Right?
They're
so early.
Much.
They're
like
so
Gap TV
early.
just shut down their video program. They don't.
Oh, did they really?
They couldn't finance it anymore, so they had to shut it down.
It was expensive.
I think it's shutting down at the end of this month. Yeah.
Wow.
Gab TV.
Gab TV. Never heard of it.
So, a lot of people put their eggs in that basket, and they're losing it.
Yeah. You know, Rumble's still very, very early. I don't think people understand how early Rumble still is. I think it's a smart investment as a creator, and you know, this is not professional advice, but also as an investor, because I own stock in Rumble. I think it's a smart move. I think that Rick and Chris and Steve know exactly what's happening, and they're doing the exact right things by coming in and being engaged with the community and responding and really just being people and building their business model around that. I do, and I've said this a lot, I think, not only on Twitter, but I think in the Discord also, that I think that investing smaller checks into higher quantity of small creators will be more valuable for the long term of their business than dumping these massive checks on these huge creators.
They need to make the stars, yeah.
I think so. I think that creating them themselves will really ignite loyalty towards the brand. And I mean, at the very least, you'll make a lot of people's lives better.
I 100% disagree. Or our business growth exploded because of taking a stand. What is your business, Spars? Because that also matters. Just saying, don't put God in a box. God would not want me to be on just Rumble. He would want me to be out there. As a Christian, it's my job to be out there where things are dirty. It is, which means Twitter and YouTube.
It's funny. It's funny, kind of how counterintuitive. I'm not. This isn't a jab, I promise. But it's funny how counterintuitive those two statements are. Don't put God in a box. Also, take a stand for your business and put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of, those two things kind of conflict. You're right. Don't put God in a box. Be everywhere. Because especially if you are carrying the message of salvation, you're doing a disservice to all of the people that aren't seeing you on every single platform.
You look at the people who hang out with me and the people who follow me on Twitter, and then you look at some of the stuff I share. Like, these people aren't being exposed to God except through me. So, like, why would I go to Gab as a Christian? Why would I do that?
Like I
It's
said,
not putting yourself in a box. Did I say to be? Well, we're asking for clarification.
Yeah, and that wasn't
I don't.
my
Our
point.
business growth exploded because of taking a stand. What business? Like,
And what does that
we
mean?
can only
Taking
make
a
assumptions
stand?
unless you tell us what that means.
Right. But well, I mean, I took a stand too, and I started telling my clients I wouldn't take less than $1,800 for consulting.
There you go.
Your worth. So what do you mean? Like,
I guess in a streaming perspective, that's another thing. Know your worth. Like, your worth isn't just what you have now; it's your potential. And if you're not willing to put yourself out there and grow, look, I still mean it. Go to freaking YouTube if you're doing edited videos.
That's right.
People know how the algorithm works, and they tell you how to take advantage of it. Yeah. So people can find your freaking videos.
That's right. Absolutely. And yes, Condor, also OnlyFans. Smart move.
If you're into that, then yeah.
If you're producing any kind of content whatsoever, put it on OnlyFans. What are they going to do? Take it down?
Constraints, and you can't put meaningful work into each of these platforms, then you need to pick the platforms that are serving you best. And
absolutely, go put it on everything, and then pick the 3 to 7 that perform the best for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now, money wise, to bring in cash, I need to get my ass back on Twitch. I really do. I do. Trucking for the main business, maintenance for stuff as one of the side businesses. Yes, we lost a few contracts, but many more asked to get contracts in.
I don't disagree with that at all. Look at Public Square and what they've done.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've taken a stand.
That's a completely different demographic, though, than what we're talking about here.
Yeah. I mean, that's wildly a demographic.
And that's the marketing component. Know your audience, know your clients, know where they're going to find you, and put yourself there. Barrage of freedom by smashing the gates. I don't find a problem with that.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's a point I think I spread myself too thin, because it's what you said. You know, put yourself out there to everything that you can. But it got to the point where you did have to narrow it down. I had to narrow it down. I was on Minds, I was on Gab, I was on Truth, I'm on Twitter, effective. I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm like, you can find me anywhere. I have an account pretty much anywhere. And it got to the point where I really have to sit back and look at where your people are.
Yeah.
And just narrow down to that, and eventually just cut off the rest, like cut off the excess.
For sure.
Why have it floating out there, and why nurture it if it's not nurturable, I guess.
Exactly. If it's not producing value for you.
And look, I want to refocus people here in chat, because I know people are passionate about being on Rumble and supporting a platform that pro free speech. Look, we're here talking about marketing. This is a business prospect. I know I make some decent money on Rumble, thank God, and thank you people who support me. And it's made a huge difference in my life. I do have aspirations. I want to grow, and I was doing it elsewhere, and now I'm here trying to do it. But I don't have the support of this platform that they give to other people, and we know the problem, and it's not been fixed for me. And I'm not going to commit to a platform that isn't committing to me, in spite of the fact that I've brought a lot of people over here. I offer support for free. Like, I put a lot into Rumble. And if their editors picks team is not going to throw me a bone at least once a month, then why would I? be devoted to them. And that's a really important thing to think of. So if I can go back to doing edited video again, you bet your ass I'm going to put it on YouTube because I know how to get it seen. My videos on YouTube do way better than my uploads here. I have to work my ass off to get 30 views on a video on Rumble, but I'll get 400 on one on YouTube with hardly any effort. So huge difference.
Yeah, maybe that'll change when Rumble introduces their updated. I assume they're doing it, but their updated feature to do static content. Like maybe that will change the dynamics, but
It
yeah,
for sure
it's a little
will.
rough
But
right
the people that aren't marketing themselves properly and aren't branding themselves properly, it doesn't matter where they are, if they're on Rumble or not, they're not going to win.
Well, if they're doing it just to stream and have a good time, it doesn't matter. They can
And
be on Rumble all day long.
that's
and have
right.
fun, right?
And those aren't the people that we're talking to here.
Exactly.
And people need to understand that when they're listening to a conversation and they hear how passionate we are, and we tell you that if you're not doing this, you're losing. We're not talking to the people that want to read books for 7 hours every single day. We're talking to the people that want to make a business.
And we're putting money
especially-
into our streams. Like,
Right.
we put money into this.
That's right. We're talking about people that want to build a business out of doing this specifically. And the problem is that most people, not just streamers, most people and business owners aren't business people. And so they don't understand marketing. They don't understand branding. And then they Google it and they read a couple of headlines and they watch some, spammy YouTube video about take my class for $99.99 and your business will get 10,000 followers. Oh, it didn't work? Try it again. No. Do it yourself, do it in-house, understand how it works so that when you hire me or Di or Ryan, you understand that when I'm charging you $2,500 now from my consultancy services, you understand the results that I'm going to be giving you in the end. If you're not in here, in these phones, if you're not in the platforms where your customers, your audience are, then you don't understand what's happening in the climate. You can't understand it without being in it.
Yeah.
I think Condor brings up an interesting question.
I agree.
Of the Rumblers, which ones are marketing themselves successfully? I have a few, but what do you guys think?
I would love to hear yours.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
yeah.
do you have? All I can think of are big ones, but a lot of them also have agents.
I would say Flodzilla. He does really good. He's
Yep.
done a lot.
Yeah, he does.
I'm
do a
not
great
talking
job.
about the partnerships he's had recently with Rumble, but just on his own, doing his screenshots, how engaged he is with the community.
Well, and his
all
network
that
is
type of
insane
stuff.
too.
He
Yeah.
produces massive amounts of content every single day.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, he's doing it full time.
That's right.
he
And
is,
people
yeah,
get
that is his thing.
confused. Content is not a post-produced video all the time. It's not just that. A tweet is content.
Mhm. There would be, I would say, from what I've seen, now I can't say if he has any special connections. That's not my territory. But Lumpy Potato, he does a lot of good things as far as engaging with the community. He's always doing his little screen captures and humorous pictures. Like he's always putting content out there on Twitter. Adam, Silver Fox Gamer, he's really good at getting his brand out there, getting his face out there, engaging with people. Of course, Di. Gotta put Di out there. She's really good about that.
I'm just me. I just talk a lot.
But those are the ones that I know within my circles that they do really well with their marketing.
Yeah,
For Rumble specifically. Yeah.
right. And I what that means is their marketing is it's just a sales engine marketing. So when you're talking about that, they're marketing themselves by engaging in these different streams and being genuinely engaged with other people.
Well, and I invest my time in people who I get along with and who I like, people who I do like to associate with. And those who I don't, I'm not going to end up in their streams at all. So, I mean, there's people I like who I can't get to everyone's streams, but I'll be at someone's stream at some point if I like them.
Yeah.
I notice them. I will not go to someone's stream if they're like, hey, I posted my link in the Rumble link channel. Or if they're going around and they're like, oh, hey, I stopped by, but I'm streaming, so I can't hang around. And I'm not going to support those people. It's rude. And that's a long time streamer etiquette thing that a lot of Rumblers don't understand. But yeah, I do not invest time in people who, I mean, if there's no chemistry, if there's no friendship to be had there, I'm not interested.
Mhm.
And I find that when I do make a friend, they usually come with more people who end up in my streams, and I actually like them. So that's usually the case.
That's part of the networking thing, right? That's a
Yep.
huge component.
Yep.
Absolutely. And once
Who you
again, that's right. And once again, we've circled back to genuine authenticity. And
Which you can do on Rumble. That's
yeah.
that is one thing Rumble has that the other platforms don't necessarily. YouTube, actually, you can on YouTube as long as you're not like, you know, talking about certain controversial topics. But how many of us are actually doing that? But yeah, like I've made friends on YouTube just by hanging out in streams.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like
amazing
a
how
lot of
many
that's
people have come from YouTube to my Twitch channel to see my live streams. So like if you're doing YouTube uploads, there's a reason why you can't put your Rumble link in your description or in your link tree. People are
That's right.
they're gonna be like, oh, they live stream on Rumble. I'll go check them out.
Right. Well, that's what I did. I made a Discord server, and like the only thing in it is go to my Guilded.
I saw that.
Like, there's not going to be any content here because I hate Discord, and I can't do as many things with Discord as I can with Guilded, and Guilded
was
is just
creative.
better. So yeah.
You're right, Praxis. Twitch is not good for growth. The only reason I would go back on Twitch is because I have a network there that
Mhm.
still supports me with subs, even though I haven't streamed for a few months.
Yeah, yeah. And you can always drive that traffic to wherever you want it.
I brought a lot of them over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you start understanding that, you know, that your real followers are going to follow you wherever that you go, then you can just, you know, if you want to transition from YouTube to Rumble, then not a ton of people are a huge fan of Steven Crowder, and that's totally okay. But his model of trying to push his YouTube audience to Rumble so that they can eventually have such a minimal, non-existent audience on YouTube is their goal.
Well, Ricada's been doing that for a long time.
Exactly.
I love Ricada.
He's so funny.
Yeah. Gilded is stuck in dark mode. Well, you don't like
Who
dark
uses light mode anything?
Condor. Oh my gosh. I have noticed that YouTube has had a lot more creators be more authentic lately and not get hit with TOS strikes. I think it depends on the topic that you talk about.
Yeah.
Um,
And
if
it's
you're trying
always
to monetize or
changing.
not.
yeah, monetization's a huge part. They have you by the ass if you're monetizing.
Which that's kind of something we haven't talked about. I don't know if you want to talk about it briefly, but
That's probably yeah.
merchandising, right? Like nobody's
Mm.
that's kind of a thing.
I do have
Yeah.
merch. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good if you can do it. Have a store. I have a store. Di has a store. Pudge, you have a
Absolutely.
store, right?
I sure don't. Nobody wants
you
to buy
don't?
shit with my face on it. Absolutely not. Please unsubscribe to
None
my
of my
channel.
stuff has my face on it.
No, I'm just being
I
ridiculous.
actually use my emotes. I have some cool mugs.
I don't think
Jake Connor's got the store. I haven't updated that thing in forever.
that's great.
It's
I don't know. It's one of those things, you know. This is my individual situation. I don't have time to invest in creating a store with merchandise. I don't think the market, the demand is there for me to supply. You know, all this is business is just supply and demand. And right now, I got like 9 people that are entertained when they watch me play Skyrim or Zelda or Rocket League, and I'm down with that. You know, when I get people that are like, "Hey, that thing you have is cool. I'd love it on a T-shirt," or "That T-shirt is cool. Where'd you get it?" You know, When that happens, maybe I'll start it for sure.
Yeah. See, my approach is a little different because, you know, I'm more into the passive income aspect. So I do have merchandise that I've created. Several of my pieces are designed based off video games that I've played, so they're references for anybody that's played them. They'll understand it. I just created them once. They're out there, and if anybody decides they want to buy them, they're available.
It's
And
true.
I think passive income is one of the best things that you can do because you don't have to focus on it. You can create merchandise once 2 years ago, and it'll still be there if people decide they want to buy it.
I've sold quite
So
a
even
few
if it's something
mugs.
you don't
People
want to
like
push,
mugs.
I highly suggest it.
And I think it's important to understand that term passive income. That doesn't mean you don't have to do any work. People get confused, like they just want to make money and sip Mai Tais on a beach somewhere, and that's not real life. That doesn't exist for anybody. If somebody is on a beach drinking Mai Tais, making money, it's because they spent 20 years building a business that is making them money.
Yep. You got to work for things.
You do. You got to put the work in. You got to make a good design. You got to have a good t-shirt. You got to have a good supplier. You got to have great stickers that are not going to peel off. You got to have great mugs that aren't going to lose your logo when you put them in the dishwasher. And you got to have good products. And if for anybody that has a merch store and isn't doing this, put a sticker in every single package that you send. Instant repeat business. I promise you.
Well, that's if you're fulfilling your own store. Mine's fulfilled by Redbubble. I don't do anything.
Sure, yeah.
Mine's fourth wall.
Yeah, but
I do have stickers though.
I include those in every single one of your purchases, and I promise you your business will increase by 20% within the year.
I cannot do that with my setup, but
I hate that. I don't know. I hadn't heard a Redbubble
people
before.
go to buy
There's
the stickers, so that's good.
The thing about passive income is there is an investment up front. For like me, I had to spend say 8 hours of my time designing these shirts and everything. But that was it. So passive income, there is an upfront investment, but that's the extent of it. The rest of the time you're marketing it through just everything else that you're doing. But as far as the actual work having to go into the merchandise, doesn't necessarily have to.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like
Thanks,
Condor has stuff for us, and he's like, boom, right there.
That's right, Praxis. If you're a douche, none of the rest is applicable. That's like one of those unsaid rules. That like if you're an asshole, I mean, like we said earlier, you might have a market somewhere in that, but it's just not sustainable. Fuse, I'll buy some Pudge TV merch.
I have to get up early tomorrow, so it was fun.
Absolutely, same here.
I do want to notify you, chat. We'll be here on this channel. That's right. The Bare Truth. On Saturday at 7 p.m., it is the last Saturday of the month, which means Pirate Panel. We have Ryan coming back on with his pirate gear and Llama Noises, of course.
Nice.
Schwart is going to be a special guest. And, of course, we have Nando and Eric Honda. So it's going to be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah. Drinking and
awesome.
Pirate hat wearing.
Parody antics.
Those shows are so stupid. It's my favorite show to do. Like,
yeah.
I have plenty of alcohol this time, so hopefully we're doing.
Yeah, I have a bottle of Chianti, and then I have rum, and then
Humanity. Was it Cards of Humanity?
Dude, my
love that game.
Going crazy outside, so I will be doing mojitos. So
that's awesome.
Awesome.
Any last thoughts, guys?
Well, thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
You can. I think that more conversations like this need to happen, especially on Rumble. And, maybe I'll make it a thing on my channel where, these are things that we talk about and kind of focus on the marketing and branding. So that Rumblers can really understand what that means, what that's going to mean for their business, whether they think of themselves streaming as a business or not. If this is what you want to do, and if this is what you want to become, you want to be a full-time streamer. I tell my son this all the time. You got to put in the work.
Yep.
And that's why he's making 5 pieces of content every single day on top of 3 or 4 other pieces of content that he's throwing in there. on top of long form video, and he's engaging with his community. You have to do these things if
I
you
wish
want
I
to
had
grow.
the time for that. I miss it.
I tell him
I was
all the
doing well
time.
on YouTube with growth, and then I had to take a job.
I tell him all the time, you're so lucky. And we homeschool him, so he has even more time
Okay, that's
to
really
work
cool.
on, like, and that's what he wants to be. He wants to be a YouTuber. That's what he wants to grow up and be and make money doing that. He wants to make a milli by the time he's 18. And I'm like, all right, well, I told him 6
have
months
goals.
ago when his YouTube was shit, I was like, well, your YouTube is shit. You need to do better. Because you're not going to make a milli at 18 if you're making this crap that you're making. And obviously, I said it nicer than that. But you got to put in the work. And if you want to be a content creator, you have to create a massive amount of content, or you have to create a massive amount of value inside
Good
of
luck. It's hard.
It's so hard, and that's why the quantity model works the best, because you can
Well, because
provide a little bit of value,
again, it's
little bit of
reach.
value.
Yeah, it's all about reach to find the right people.
Absolutely.
Ryan, what are your last thoughts?
I'd say just be yourself. Like at the end of the day, there's all sorts of strategies you can do, but what's going to sell people is you. It doesn't matter what tricks of the trade you try to use. If you have a shitty personality, you don't have a magnetic personality, whatever it is, you just got to be yourself. And if you're yourself, I believe in this particular situation dealing with streaming, I believe that if you're just yourself, people naturally get attracted to you and you'll find your own success.
100%.
Don't focus on the numbers too much.
Don't get overwhelmed with the
drive yourself
superficial.
crazy.
That's right. That's right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody
This
for
was
coming
fun.
by.
Yes, thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it.
Chat, y'all have a great night.
Night.